All right. Hello, YouTube. Welcome. We need to get a little, just even if it's just fake, just a light speed.
The hyperdrive engaging lever.
Yeah. Although that would be a good fidget spinner.
You could probably program it to do a button, right, for the computer.
Maybe.
So you could be like, all right, let's go. And you just hit the hyperdrive, and that's what starts the stream.
Yeah, maybe. That would be awesome. All right. Hello, everyone.
I think we just came up with $1 billion company idea. Develop random mass, like you could do like a gear shift.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I need to go to my email, so you shift to first.
Although I wonder if people can, you could macro out like the flight simulator things. Have you seen those giant?
Oh, like the whole like console. They also have ones for semi trucks too, and farm equipment.
Yeah. So we're here for episode 49.
That was like the most random ass tangent to start an episode.
It happens. It happens all the time, actually, with us. So,
sure.
Let's go ahead and jump on into the intro and get started into the podcast, because right now we're only talking to YouTube people. Let's go ahead and hit that and get started.
He who is ashamed of his geekery has forgotten the face of Stan Lee.
This is the podcast, Geekery Abides.
Hello and welcome to Geekery Abides. This is our podcast covering everything that is not Stephen King. My name is Tad, and with me as always is Peter.
Hello.
We are here for our penultimate episode for 2024. And the way this show has worked, because it doesn't really work very well, especially retroactively with Dark Tower Palaver. But what I've always done is when you're creating podcasts, you can put seasons, and I've done the season for each year.
Oh, okay.
So we're technically at the end of season 2.
Yeah.
Next time, so we're the penultimate episode of season 2 for Geekery Abides.
Oh shit! That means we got to do like something massive then, right? Because that's like Game of Thrones, right? Like that's the head chopping off episode, or the.
All right. Hit it.
People come charging in the door.
Stab you with spears. Or penguins.
Aw. I still need to find where the hell you hid that penguin.
Oh, he could see you. Don't worry.
Oh, God.
So we're this is Geekery Abides, is our podcast. We just started, like I said. So the other thing I wanted to point out is we are at the end of season 2, and the final episode, of course, because this is episode 49, is episode 50. I also went and did the numbers for next year based on the dates, and we will be ending next year on episode 75.
That's awesome.
So it's not always going to work that way, because
we should make it work that way,
because the way the weeks work with how we do our episodes, there is always a variance. I think there's can be a variance of up to 2 episodes per year that we have, just based on how the dates fall and when we start and stuff like that.
We should make sure that we have 25 episodes a year. That should just be perfect, like what we do, perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Thanos is a good man.
No, he's not.
I like Thanos.
No, he's not. There's a reason he's called the Mad Titan.
He's great. Also, we don't have anything planned for next year yet, but I have already kind of told everyone that we have the freedom now to pick episodes, not just waiting until whatever. So if we start to fill episodes in, we will kind of let you know what's coming up. And the videos now have been having like covers on them that show you what's coming and stuff. So that's pretty fun. So, let's go ahead and jump on over to the emails. If you want to email the show, you can do that at peter@geekeryabides.com or tad@geekeryabides.com. Tad is TADD. We alternate the producing of the episodes. I guess I do the news across the board, but in terms of the main topic, picking the topic, running the show for the topic, we alternate those. I do the odd ones, Peter does the evens. We have flip-flopped some this time because I wanted to do the final episode, because I like the look ahead type stuff.
Sure.
Which means also I'll end up getting 2 in a row, end of the and then first of the year, right? Because isn't that I guess where does that fall? I was looking at it's 51 because if it's episode 50 then it's episode 51
Yeah.
for
So you'll do 2 in a row.
2 in a row, which is how it works.
I do
obviously.
2, you do 2.
Yeah. So, but then after that, we're back to every other episode, which alternating. So, if you want to contact the shows, that's the way to do it.
You ready to be proud of me?
Go on.
I got an email.
Oh yeah.
And I knew about it.
Yeah, that's
ahead of time.
You're learning. I did check yesterday. I don't think I haven't checked today. But I will say, generally speaking, for me, same with Dark Tower Palaver, if an email comes in the day of the show, there's a good chance I won't get to it just because it's like the prep of everything else. It's going to be easy to overlook.
Especially when your programs decide to do an update 5 minutes before we go live every time.
Yeah.
That's always nice.
No, it looks like my inbox is still empty. But is the email covering today then?
It sure is.
All right. Okay. During the main topic, or
we also have reading, watching, playing. We got an
no,
email.
yeah, I know.
We got an email from John, which is, I believe, John from Buffalo. Yeah,
Okay.
John from Buffalo is how he signs it. So we have reading, watching, playing, and then as well his thoughts on Episode 3 in Star Wars.
Okay. So I just popped over to watching, reading, playing. So let's go ahead and move on over to that segment.
You know what? In the honor of John being one of my first emails that I, actually read on the episode, we'll start with John. He's finishing up my annual read of year listening of Lord of the Rings.
Oh,
so
okay.
he's doing that. Watching is What We Do in the Shadows, and just finished the Great British Bake Off. Oh my gosh, that is a tongue twister for me. Great British Bake Off.
Say it in an English accent.
A Great British Bake Off.
It's kind of a Cockney accent, isn't it?
Is that not English?
Yeah, it is. But
Okay, is that English? All right, you didn't specify English. All right,
give me a Liverpool accent.
a Great British Bake Off. I want to apologize. I have no idea if that was Liverpoolish. Was it?
It wasn't a good Liverpool.
No,
accent.
it's not good. But none of my accents are good. I don't do any good accents.
You just know the Liverpool is the Beatles. Just that's the one.
Okay.
That's the one to know. Is that they're Liverpool.
Okay.
So.
And then playing, he's playing The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time on the N64.
Classic. I also am circling Lord of the Rings. I have been for a while. I have purchased.
You've mentioned it I've 3 times over the last month.
I've purchased the audiobooks, so those are.
We're talking like fully circling.
Yeah. So I bought the new what's his name? Smeagol.
Andy Serkis.
Andy Serkis narrates the 3 books. That's brand new. It came out this year. They're getting rave reviews, so I bought those versus the one with the British guy that's been around for ages. So
I bet that's amazing.
I haven't started it yet, but
I'm just betting that it is.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So, and then why don't you go ahead?
Okay. So my wife just threw in the chat. She is reading It, which is just so much fun. I nerd out every time I catch her. She was listening to it yesterday right before we went and got lunch.
What part?
6 phone calls. She was on the Eddie Kasprak call. Eddie! Oh, it's so good. She's watching St. Dennis, which pisses me off because it should be...
Didn't know you were called Dennis.
It's look at how it's written. It should be St. Denis because I play Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah.
But it's called St. Dennis. It pisses me off. Ghost, all 3 Deadpools. She rewatched all of those. And then she's watching Parks and Rec again. Still playing Disney Dreamlight Valley. That's like her obsession. Power Simulator, and was playing Binding of Isaac when I left the house earlier today. So
awesome.
Yeah. What about you, sir? You go ahead.
No,
that's my episode. You don't get to decide, sir.
That's true.
You go first.
So I do want to catch up because there was one I forgot last time. Because I did watch the first Gladiator in prep of the second one. I didn't.
Right.
I didn't list that.
Yeah.
So that only comes into play because
you mentioned that to me
off air, but I forgot it on the thing. I also watched Wolves, the Apple Plus movie.
Oh, with Clooney and Pitt.
Yeah, it was great.
Was it good?
I really enjoyed it a lot.
Nice.
I'm sad there will only be the one. But then I decided, every once in a while I just get a Jones for like 90s action adventure, action drama, thriller type movies, which it just feels like there's not a lot of them. But because I was in that mood again, so I threw on Double Jeopardy.
Oh, yeah, with Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones.
And what's her name?
Ashley Judd.
Is it Ashley Judd?
Now
I'll look it up.
So the thing that threw me off, as a Flanagan fan,
okay,
God,
it is Ashley Judd. Good job. And Bruce Greenwood.
Yes, Bruce Greenwood.
Is you're not telling me this is a Flanagan film?
No. No.
Okay.
No. I don't think he was out of high school probably when this movie came out.
That doesn't mean anything.
But
sometimes.
Bruce Greenwood, because you know the basic premise, right?
I've seen this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like enough to remember.
She is accused, tried, and convicted of the murder of her husband.
Yeah.
And then when
is it Ashley Judd, by the way?
It is Ashley Judd.
Okay.
Yes, it is Ashley Judd. And Tommy Lee Jones is the marshal. He's law enforcement in some way.
He's the bail or he
parole officer.
Parole officer. Yes,
yeah.
Thank you.
He's her PO. And when she gets out, right before she gets out, she finds out that he's still alive.
Yeah.
Well, she's served a prison sentence. She's been tried and convicted of it. So double jeopardy means that you cannot be tried, convicted of something that you've already been tried and or convicted / acquitted for again.
Yeah.
So
it's
that's why O.J. Simpson was never put on trial again.
Yeah.
Even though he made a book titled If I Did It, and everything, he could never be tried again because he was acquitted.
Yeah.
Of it. So if you're acquitted or found guilty, you can never be tried again under the law of double jeopardy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but not only that.
So she goes to get her revenge.
But the mistress.
Yes.
Is Mrs. Dudley from Haunting of Hill House.
Oh shit!
So I was like,
you're like, hey, I know her.
I'm fresh off a rewatch of that. But then
I have one of those in my watching where there was like, hey.
But then there's another one.
Okay.
At the very end, she goes to find her son. The son gets played by a couple different actors because he's at different ages.
He's growing up because she served a prison sentence for murder.
9 years, I think.
Yeah.
That she serves. So the kid at the very end, when she goes to like the boarding school and finds him, I'm like, that kid looks so fucking familiar. I look him up. He is the Emperor's son, or the Emperor's. What the fuck is it? It's the Emperor's sister's son from Gladiator.
The Emperor's nephew.
Yeah, so it's his sister, right?
It's what a lot of people have suspected is Maximus's son. But he had an affair.
It's the Emperor's
it's the sister.
Yeah. It's that boy. So I was just like, God, he's so fucking familiar. And that's the reason when I was putting it on my list, I'm like, because I looked it up, I'm like, oh, Gladiator, I just watched that. And so
then you're like, hey, wait a minute.
I'm like, wait, I didn't put Gladiator in my last episode. So at that, did enjoy it, but I don't know why I just Jones for a movie like those, because that's that kind of like, I almost like say like Harrison Ford, Tommy Lee Jones 90s movies. Like there's just
Cape Fear.
That's a vibe, right?
Yeah, Cape Fear, The Fugitive,
Air Force
One. There's even U.S. Marshal, which is the sequel to. I need to watch that one again. U.S. Marshal.
Last time I was on this kick, I watched The Fugitive and then U.S. Marshal. So.
I remember really liking U.S. Marshal. The Fugitive kind of was weird because I didn't understand a lot of it because I was too little.
Yeah, no.
So I need to rewatch The Fugitive and U.S. Marshal. I need to watch those.
Yeah, rewatch them.
Dude, that's it. I'm going to go right now. You keep going. I'm going to go create me a goddamn document that every time we're on this show where I can write down things like that I need to watch this. I'm going to title it. Watch this.
And then I am watching Yellowstone, currently airing, and then Skeleton Crew. So that is my watching. Reading, I finished up Not 1 Inch by Emmy Saratowi. I'm still reading Provoked by Scott Horton. Also, I've been diving into some comic books. I got my annual membership for Marvel Unlimited. Black Friday had it on sale. So.
Oh, shit. I forgot to look into that.
So that's fun. So I've been reading some Young Avengers comics recently. So,
that's cool.
And then playing, I've been all over the place. I was... I can't remember if it was that book that I finished or if it was a podcast. There was something I was into last weekend that I just wanted to keep going on.
Yeah.
And I couldn't think of anything to play that was like something I could just throw like a podcast or a book on and listen to while playing. So I re-downloaded Rory McIlroy PGA.
Oh, golf.
One I've had for years. So that's a lot of fun. So I was.
You should have just loaded up GTA 5 and gone golfing.
Yeah, it's a good game. Then I played in entirety and finished out the first Splinter Cell. I got a little ways into Splinter Cell Pandora tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
But I did get interrupted because Indiana Jones and the Great Circle is now out, and that is 100% my obsessions.
And you were ranting and raving about it yesterday, saying it was really good.
Yeah, it's incredible. So
and to answer my wife's question before she even asked, I already asked him if he's taking pictures of stray cats.
Yeah, don't have the camera yet.
He has not got the camera yet. But he will. Don't worry.
It's kind of one of those like Red Dead-y type games where there's the main line, but I'm really trying to make sure I'm not skipping the side shit.
Yeah.
And like the camera is like the next main objective I have to go for.
Yeah.
But there's
so
like
you're doing some side
there's
stuff.
other side stuff that I'm like, because I'm in the Vatican right now.
Oh, okay.
In the 30s, so El Duce is in charge, and there's black shirt fascists all over the place.
Oh.
So, but I want to make sure I don't end up like progressing the mission too much where I lose some of these side things. So
No, for sure.
But I have ran into a couple cats though.
That's awesome.
So yeah, definitely fun. So
All right.
yeah, what about you?
All right, so watching, my wife's watching Parks and Rec, so that means that I watch Parks and Rec when we don't have anything else to watch. That's the sitcom of choice in the house,
Yeah.
kind of thing. I'm watching Yellowstone as well. We, because of you asshole, we ended up watching Wind River between last night and this morning.
Excellent. Such a great movie.
My wife loved it. She thought it was great.
I think that's his best movie.
That was phenomenal.
Of the three movies, they're all incredible. But the longer I've thought about it, Wind River lives in my head rent free.
Oh, yeah.
More so than Sicario or Hell or High Water. Those are both brilliant films.
Yep.
But Wind River just like eats at my brain. Like it's
Dude,
such a great movie.
I'm not gonna lie. There's two parts of it that absolutely just sit there and live rent free in my brain. There's the scene. You know what scene I'm talking about at the end.
Yeah.
That scene lives rent free in my head, and then the scene outside the trailer.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Both those scenes just live rent free in my head.
Yeah.
I remembered almost every detail about them.
For me, it's not even just that, but just like the idea of like the natives not getting investigated for these murders. Like,
Oh, yeah.
that shit's just
terrifying.
It's the worst.
It's
possible
so
thing,
heartbreaking.
so.
Yeah, it got to both of us today, and I've seen the movie before and everything. But that movie was the one that I was mentioning earlier. That's the because I've watched Yellowstone. Like even my wife, who's only watched some of Yellowstone, is like, you realize the girl in that is Monica from Yellowstone, right? That's Casey's wife.
Yeah,
Like the victim at the beginning of the movie, like that's Monica.
It's kind of like watching the zombie show after The Mist.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh look, there's there.
Yeah, look, there's all those people that are in the first season of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But even then, there's John Benthal's in there, the Punisher's in there. So,
Yeah.
and then of course Elizabeth Olsen and Jeremy Renner that we both know and love from MCU.
Yeah.
But like Bruce Green, I think is his name, who's in like everything that has a Native American in it.
Oh yeah.
The dad of
Graham Greene.
Graham Greene, that's his name. Thank you. I had the last name right.
He's such a
dude.
gem.
Oh, and he's so good. He's so funny.
He's the best.
He's always so funny.
He was in The Last of Us.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he was in it. But then like the dad of Monica, the actress who plays the victim, her dad is in Twilight, so Lydia knew him.
Yeah.
It's just like so many of these people are just like, up. I'm just wondering if I go back through and I look through the cast of Wind River, how many of them have had at least something in Yellowstone.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's the way it works with filmmakers.
So this morning before my wife woke up, I actually got on a 90s action movie need and found out that The Rock actually got added to Hulu. So I started that this morning. Didn't finish it because me and my wife finished Wind River. So The Rock will probably be finished here within the next 24 to 48 hours.
Excellent.
And then I have watched the 3 episodes of Skeleton Crew. So
excellent.
I am up to date on that.
Very happy about that.
Reading, I'm still going through the Dark Tower series. I finished book 2, which is Drawing of the Three. I'm now in Wastelands, which is book 3.
Mm-hmm.
Did I say that right? I
Yeah.
sounded wrong in my head. And then I'm playing Red Dead Redemption 2 still. I might be taking a break because I just realized that I have the EA subscription that now has Jedi Survivor on it, which is the second game. So, and I have a vacation coming up 2 days after 2 days of work, and then I'm off until almost New Year's. So I'm debating that, or do I play the God of War? Do I play The Last of Us? Do I play Horizon Zero Dawn? I have all these games that I haven't played, so it's like I have Jedi Survivor pegged, but
I mean, Indiana Jones is out there too.
it's so much more, dude. It's $70 on Steam. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
I have a hard time paying for brand new games too.
Dude, it's so good though. Like I'm the same. Like,
Did you get it on PlayStation 5?
no, I did it Xbox.
You did it on Xbox?
Yeah, that's always my first love is Xbox.
I mean,
man.
you're an Xbox guy.
Yeah,
so
I am. So, all right, is that it?
That's it. I'm
All right.
all up.
Let's jump on over to the news.
Sorry, that took a little bit long.
Yeah, it's all right. First up, Pattinson says the line.
He did?
So he was telling a New York Times reporter that an airport employee recently approached him and said, "Hey, you're the guy from Twilight. Why did you stop acting?" And he's telling the story in the way of like, this isn't uncommon. This
Really?
happens a lot to him. Like, and this, like, The Lighthouse, there's like all these other movies he's done.
And then he just did the Batman a couple of years ago.
And that's what he said, quote, "I was like, I'm Batman." He recounted, and then she just laughed and walked away.
What? Oh my God!
So he said the line.
I'm Batman.
I'm Batman. I mean, unless Michael Keaton shows up, I'll allow it. But
Batman.
I know that's
he doesn't say I'm Batman though, does he? Has he said it in the movie? In the Batman?
Pattinson? No, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Not yet.
Maybe it'll be like Bond takes 5 movies to get to like the classic opening.
James Bond.
Well, not the line because he says that, but like the classic gun barrel opening. Great stuff. Next up, James Gunn says Superman is the face of the DCU. So in the new documentary, Super/Man, the Christopher Reeve story, the studio logo was a classic comic-style Superman, which is like almost like the 40s. It has like the weird S and stuff, but it's that really old one. It's him busting through a set of chains and then taking the classic hands-on-hip stance. And someone tweeted at Gunn on Blue Sky, because everything's going to be called tweeted because Twitter, and said, "Hey, I was surprised to see the Superman DC ID at the start. Will all DC stuff use Superman, or will the characters feature will the featured character change based on the project?" And Gunn, ever the responsive executive, responded with, "He's our MGM lion. It will usually be him." So
Going with the second fiddle guy, huh?
no, the original.
Nah, the house that Batman built is DC. Thank you.
No, not even close.
I mean, you don't understand that reference, but that's a Lego Batman reference. At the beginning, the credits are rolling, and it says DC, and he says, "Yeah, the house that Batman built. What? Come at me, Superman. I am your kryptonite, bro."
I can't remember. There was when I read that, I put you on that Batman book. There's the same author did a Superman book.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what it was, but it was back in like the 60s or 70s. There was something close to 20 titles for DC that were Superman related.
Good Lord.
Like, there's like Action Comics, there's Superman, there's Superboy, there's like just all this stuff. And it's like because that was the only thing that always moved the needle.
Yeah.
We always knew we had something that would sell if it had Superman's name on it. So,
kind of like in the 90s, Wolverine and Spider-Man.
Wolverine and whatever's struggling. Yeah. So that's just kind of interesting. I haven't seen the Super/Man thing, but it is also a good comment by the person that tweeted at him, because I don't think I would have even thought about that, where it's just like, people are probably starting to look for, okay, what is the DCU's iconography going to look like?
Yeah, because like the Marvel ones started off with just kind of like individual ones, but then they developed like the Marvel thing.
Yeah.
And even that changes sometimes.
Yeah,
like,
Chadwick Boseman.
We had the one with Chadwick. We had the one with Stan
Lee.
Lee.
Yeah.
And everything. But even like the Loki one turns green, so.
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh my God, there's Obi-Wan Kenobi in the chat.
General Kenobi.
Welcome, General.
Oh, the negotiator. That's awesome. I love that.
That's amazing.
That's wonderful. So that's the next one. But yeah, I think it's just kind of cool because to see what is going to be the what it's going to look like.
Yeah.
Next up, when
does that movie come out?
We got a rumor that Superman's trailer is coming next week.
Oh, well, all right then.
So it's coming out early July 11th.
2025, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But the original rumor was it was going to be dropping on the 23rd or 24th, right before Christmas. But the latest scuttlebutt online is it will be dropping next week. If it does come out next week, there's a good chance it'll be paired with Mufasa or Sonic 3. It does sound like a lot of the rumors we've been hearing is that DC is going to pull out all the stops marketing wise. This movie will be everywhere. Like they are not going to this is going to be like,
dude, we're going to see Superman at Burger King and Subway.
Exactly. Full court press. Also from the folks who have seen the trailer, apparently not only is Crypto the Kryptonian dog,
dog.
Not only is he in the trailer, but many are calling him the star of the trailer.
Oh, Super Dog.
So
I got to tell my daughter, she freaking loves that dog.
Yeah,
there's a superhero movie where it's the super pets.
Oh, okay.
And then like some random pets get superpowers.
Yeah.
They get exposed to something and they become superpowers.
Yeah.
I think The Rock voices Super Dog.
Oh, okay.
Crypto. Crypto.
Yeah.
And everything. So like I gotta tell her because she freaking super pets. She freaking loved it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, and then some people online are taking that way too literal, and they're making that sound like he's actually going to be the focus of the entire trailer. I think that's kind of foolish. I think what they're meaning is like Baby Yoda type stealing the show for the trailer. I don't think he's actually going to be like the focal point of the fucking trailer.
Obi-Wan says in the chat, hopes Disney puts him in the next 3 Star Wars movies. They forgot about him in the sequels, but they didn't forget about Yoda.
It's true. It's true. I really loved Yoda though.
I mean, it's Yoda.
That was a great moment for sure. Next up, James Gunn says not sure if Batista wants to be Bane anymore. Gunn was on a podcast, and some old quotes were brought up about Dave wanting to play Bane. He had some pretty emphatic quotes years ago saying that he would play Bane no matter what. And James responded, and they were basically asking about it, and James responded, said, I don't know if Dave wants to be Bane anymore. He used to want to be Bane. I think he'd much rather play another character. Right now, I think that's probably the case. Of course, I love Dave, and I want to work with him again, but I'm not sure he wants to play Bane anymore. I think I would agree, because
with him,
everything he's been saying.
With like the physical change and him wanting different roles and stuff like that,
Yeah.
Bane's not the type of character that he would have wanted to play. Now, Hugo Strange.
Yes.
That picture that someone shared.
Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Next up, we've got Flanagan's Clayface movie has been greenlit.
Yeah.
Still confirmed, though, that Mike is not directing, only writing.
Oh.
So that is making some people nervous because not a lot of his stuff has been handed off like that. But it does sound like it's 100% up against The Exorcist. Like, there's no way for him to film the Clayface movie and The Exorcist.
Okay.
But I guess fortunately for us Dark Tower fans, that he's not adding this to the list, because chances are he's
everything
probably
that he does just slows down the Dark Tower.
Yes, exactly. Next up, we've got a Yellowstone spinoff is now confirmed. Starring Kelly Riley and Cole Hauser, which is Beth and Rip.
Weren't we just talking about this yesterday?
Yes. So they've closed a deal to star in a new show. It is going to continue the story after the show ends tomorrow. It does sound like it's confirmed that tomorrow.
Oh my God! Is the series finale?
Yeah, is the final episode of
Yellowstone
proper.
Whoa.
No word yet on the title, but it is being said out there that this will be the first spinoff that will have Yellowstone in the title, and it will feel the closest to the primary show.
Okay.
So, that's something. Next up,
we were literally talking about that like yesterday.
Yeah. Next up, Jim Carrey wants a Grinch return.
What?
So he was asked what character he'd like to play again, and he said, oh gosh, if we could figure out the Grinch. He said, the thing about it is, on the day I do that with a ton of makeup and I can hardly breathe. It was extremely excruciating process. The children are in my mind all the time. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. And now with motion capture and things like that, I could be free to do other things. Anything is possible in this world. So.
This man was retired 2 years ago, and now he's back in Sonic 3 and now talking about one of his best movies.
I also saw something this morning, not enough to put it in the show, where I think he said he'd be open to another Mask if somebody had a good story idea.
I got a good story. Just bring him back as the Mask. Like, seriously, it's not hard.
Yeah, indeed. I still want a third Ace Ventura, man.
Dude.
It
Yes.
should happen.
Dude, Ace Ventura finds the Mask. That's the third Ace Ventura movie.
Oh, man. Next up.
That's the crossover we need.
Next up, we're moving into the Marvel realm. The Deadpool and Wolverine cut joke has been revealed.
Oh, my God.
So I guess the director and Ryan Reynolds vowed to never reveal the joke didn't even last a year. But to be fair, it wasn't them. The script was submitted for an Oscar, and as part of that, the script is given to voters, and one of the voters leaked up this page of the script. The line,
it's the unedited script.
The line is in the hideout of the heroes in the void, and they're raging about, and Deadpool is raging about not having enough characters after he asks about Magneto, and no, he's dead. And the line in the script is, we can't even afford one more X-Man? Disney is so cheap. I can barely breathe with all this Mickey Mouse cock in my throat.
Good Lord.
And then it was changed to like a Pinocchio line.
Yeah, I got Pinocchio's nose up my ass, and he started lying.
Also, there's a screen grab going around of this part of the script. I also found it funny. Along with the joke, Gambit's name in the script is Gatsby, Elektra's name is 11, and Laura's name is Lemon.
All right,
those are the names in the script. So because it would have been secret, where
to hide the characters,
to hide who the characters were going to be. So
Gatsby.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And we talked about it last episode, where the director has done some episodes of Stranger Things. So and there was a couple others. I think that
wasn't
Hopper was one.
Hopper was used
for
H.
Because all the letters correlated. Who's H in the? I don't remember who it would have been, but
I thought it was for Human Torch.
Probably Human Torch for
Human
H.
Torch,
That would have worked. Next up, Ryan Reynolds saying that he sees Deadpool as a supporting character in the future. Quote, I see Deadpool as a supporting character much more than he's a main character or at the center. He says we center him sometimes because that's what they want. but you can't center him unless you take everything away from him. You have to create a situation where where he's so much of an underdog, and I don't think I can do that again. If he comes back, I think it's going to be in somebody else's movie. Channing Tatum is so excited to play Gambit. I would happily play Fifth Banana in his movie or anybody else's.
Yeah.
Also, along with what we said last time, where he basically said that, like, takes 5-6 years of my life and I have kids and stuff.
Yeah.
This would also be much easier for him to just pop up as Deadpool. Like,
Hey, can you come film for a week or two?
like Mark Ruffalo's Hulk, right?
Yeah.
Like, how much easier is that for him than having his own movie? So,
Exactly.
And that's not to say that's what's going to happen, but that's kind of what the line that Reynolds is putting out.
My
there,
wife
so.
says in the chat, I agree, Deadpool should be the new Stan Lee. Just shows up in everything. Just has a cameo.
I still think it should have been Feige, man.
Feige could still do it, yeah.
Yeah, because everyone kind of knows who he is now. And like the first movie after Stan Lee's last cameo, they should have just had him popping.
Oh,
up, so.
dude, imagine if he shows up and he shows up with Deadpool. So Deadpool yells at Feige.
Oh, that'd be great.
Cheap bastard, you couldn't even get me one more X-Men in my last movie?
And if it would have been Magneto, man,
Ooh.
you know how happy I would have been.
Which Magneto?
Yes. Yes. Next up, we got a rumor that Moon Knight is going to be returning 3 times.
Okay.
So the rumors are that he'll be in 3 films, Doomsday and Secret Wars, but also there's a rumored Midnight Suns movie, and that's Midnight Suns like the sun. Midnight Suns is a supernatural team that tends to include a lot of characters, but Moon Knight, Blade, Morbius, and Ghost Rider are some of the regulars. So yeah, we'll see what
Morbius is probably out unless Sony pulls the plug.
They'll reboot. Most likely, if they were to do it. So, next up, Daredevil Born Again is set 5 years after the Netflix show.
Okay.
Bullseye actor Wilson Benthal was at Fan Expo in San Francisco and said maybe it's a different on a sitcom or something like that, but if you're on a show over a period of time and the characters are all going to age together in real time, and if the show is well written and the writers are sort of responding to that reality transpiring, the wrinkles in their hair, or the wrinkles of their hair, etc., then in the theory the character is evolving whether the show is on or not. These characters who have all lived 5 years of life and all have twists and turns that their lives would have taken in that meantime. So whether or not these stories are on screen, there's just a little extra life in there, which I think as an actor gives you an opportunity to bring whatever part of your own journey you want to bring as they get a little longer in the tooth. So
Yeah.
that's pretty cool. Next up, we've got Chris Evans has officially been cast in Doomsday.
Oh, Human Torch is coming back.
There is no confirmation on who he will be playing. But this is officially confirmed. This is not a rumor.
No,
that
yeah.
he will be in the film. One rumor out there, though, is that he will full on be playing Nomad.
You got to help me out here.
So
I'm not that versed.
They've already alluded to Nomad a bit in Infinity War.
Okay.
Nomad is when basically he loses faith in the government and goes on to serve people of like America still, but he no longer has the title, the shield, the uniform.
Oh, okay.
And so we already kind of saw that in Infinity War. Like he
became Batman.
He was basically Nomad in Infinity War.
Okay.
For the early on. So
and get this man a shield.
So I wonder. So I kind of wonder if that part of that rumor ends up being real, because that part's rumor that he would be Nomad. But because we've already kind of seen that played a little bit in Infinity War,
sure.
They didn't full on call him Nomad and stuff. So maybe that's what they'll do. But either way, that is the rumor.
Okay.
Next up, Spider-Man 4 is basically about Spider-Man giving up being Peter Parker. Amy Pascal, the former head of Sony and the producer of the current Spider-Man films, told Deadline, "We're starting shooting the next Spider-Man movie with Destin Daniel Cretton. He's a wonderful director. I loved No Mercy. I love Short Term 12. I love Shang-Chi. I think he did a wonderful job." The interviewer then said No Way Home felt like a perfect send-off for the character, and she responded, "Well, we have to deal with the fact that he decided he was going to give up being Peter Parker, and that he's going to focus on being Spider-Man because being Peter Parker was too hard." That is what the movie is about. Mm-hmm. So, also a reminder, this film takes place after Doomsday, but before Secret Wars. I feel like it's easy to lose sight of that. So, next up, we've got a rumor that Sony is pulling the plug on the extended universe that they have been trying to get off the ground.
I don't know if this counts too, but
Good night, sweet prince.
As a general rule, I don't like talking box office. I find that one of the least interesting things about film, and I don't like that modern media, like, unless you're a bean counter or a studio executive, you shouldn't fucking care.
There's too much weight put behind, did the movie succeed?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Is the movie good? Because I'll tell you right now, one of the most widely regarded top movies of all time bombed at the box office.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm talking
Yeah,
about.
Shawshank.
Exactly.
But the Craven, the hunter, is most likely aiming at a bomb. Like the projections are coming in, and it's like dismal. Not only that, I think the last time I looked on the stupid fruit vegetable website, it had a 14%.
The Rotten Tomatoes.
So,
Fruit vegetable website.
so yeah, it's probably not going well. So.
Vegetable website.
So the rumor is they developed what they want to develop for now, and it's really about the next Spider-Man films. The big issue with Sony Spider-Man spinoff seems to be a lack of quality control. The films just aren't good. Sometimes the lack of quality meets a movie no one asked for, which is the case of Madam Web, and it leads to a no-win scenario. It may be time for Sony to start cultivating different IPs and launch new franchises versus trying to milk this one. So
Yeah.
that was from kind of an insider. So next up, Willem Dafoe teases he might return for Spider-Man 4.
Willem Dafoe.
So he said, talking to Entertainment Tonight, he said, they asked him about Spider-Man movies and if they'd see him again. He said, we'll see. I could come back. Tom was great to work with, and the whole series of Spider-Man films I did were all great fun.
Yeah, I want to see him
So-
kick the shit out of Tom again.
Indeed.
That was an amazing fight.
That was pretty great.
Such a good fight.
Next up, Haley Atwell is officially back as Peggy Carter for Doomsday.
Hey.
So Nomad and Peggy Carter?
All right.
Well, we don't know if it's Nomad. We know for sure Chris Evans is back.
We don't know that she's going to be Peggy Carter. What if she's
no, they actually did confirm that she's
What if
Peggy.
she's Agent Carter?
They did confirm that she's Peggy Carter.
So she's Peggy Carter, not Agent Carter?
I mean, Peggy is an agent.
Is she?
She's not Captain Carter, if that's what you're getting at.
No,
So-
she retired as an agent. Is she an agent? I mean, that's actually a real question. In Endgame, when Captain America goes back, does she still become an agent and goes and is an agent through the 50s and 60s?
I think so.
You think she is?
Yeah, I think
Even with Captain America? Well, so what? Captain America's just a stay-home dad?
Yeah, because they allude to a husband in one of the earlier films.
Do they really?
Yeah,
With her?
yeah. They allude to a husband at home that she has.
Oh, shit, they do when she's on her hospital bed, don't they?
Yeah, I think so.
And she's talking to Captain America. That smarmy little bitch is like, yeah, I got a husband at home. Oh, he's great. You'd love him. And it's him? Oh, that's awesome. Dude, if they did that intentionally, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if they did it intentionally, but it certainly worked out like as a retcon.
Yeah.
So, next up, we've got some Beetle casting news and a new rumor. First of all, we covered it originally, the rumored 4 men to play the Fab Four in the Sam Mendes 4 intertwining Beatles films. One is now officially confirmed. The recent star of Gladiator 2, Paul Mescal, is officially confirmed now to be playing Paul McCartney.
Okay.
So nothing else has been officially confirmed, although Barry Keoghan as Ringo is all but confirmed, as Ringo himself has mentioned him as playing him.
Oh, shit.
So the real Ringo Starr has been like, oh yeah, Barry Keoghan, I heard he's playing me in the movie. So that's not really a full confirmation.
Everyone at the studio is like, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up.
Harris Dickinson from Iron Claw is still rumored to be playing John Lennon. That's still a rumor. But the new rumor, George Harrison's actor, was someone else when we reported this back in the summer. It is now official, or not officially, now it is rumored to be Joseph Quinn.
Oh.
Mr. Human Torch / was it Eddie from Stranger Things?
Yes.
So he has been spotted all around the set of Fantastic Four, always carrying a guitar case. So
All right.
a lot of people, that's the big rumor, is he has got the role of George Harrison. So
All right.
we'll have to see how that progresses. Next up, Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman are back together.
Not in Deadpool.
And they are doing a movie for Sean Levy.
Wait. That's the Deadpool director.
Yep. So he's directing the film. It is said to be a comedy, that will be about 2 aging boy band members.
Oh, my God. Are you serious?
That is the...
Oh, I'm so there. Oh, that's going to be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that should be great fun. Next up, Scream 7 loading up its cast.
Uh-huh.
Celeste O'Connor, she was in the new Ghostbusters movies, as well as the brilliant slasher Freaky. I don't know if you watched that one.
I have
but
not.
You should watch that one.
Dude.
Asa German, he was in Gen V and The Boys. He was the lead in Gen V, and then he was in the last couple episodes of The Boys. He's the one that attacks Frenchie when they're capturing them all at the end of the last season.
Oh, okay.
He's that character. And then McKenna, so he's in it. McKenna Grace, which I was looking through her thing, and I was like, God, she seems so familiar. I actually had typed out a couple other things. She seems to be one that plays a lot of younger characters. She played a young Captain Marvel in the Marvels. She played the young character in Malignant, the wonderful horror movie. But as I kept scrolling through, suddenly I saw something. Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, no.
She was young Theo.
She was?
Yep.
I loved young Theo.
Yeah, me too. And then Sam Reckner from The Fablesman, the Steven Spielberg film. Those have all been added to the cast officially. They're all younger actors, so this is probably, we've been hearing that's going to be like an older group and a younger group both dealing with Ghostface. So it seems like and then the one from 1883 is the first one that was announced. She's probably going to be the Sydney's daughter and the leader of the pack. Sydney's going to be there with the older characters, and it seems like the younger cast is being fleshed out now. So that's pretty cool.
Ghostface.
If that is a rumor,
dude,
we'll see.
I hope that it's done right.
Me too. Next up, Eli Roth teases Thanksgiving 2. I didn't know this is a thing. I'm really excited because this is one of my.
I thought this was confirmed. I thought I saw an article saying that it was confirmed.
Yeah, it is now, but this has all come out in the last less than a month. So he recently told IndieWire that they'll be filming in March. It says we're upping the ante, but we're not.
Oh, teases. Okay, I get your meaning behind teases. I don't know why, but I associated that with like rumored, like,
no.
I might be working on this.
No,
that's where my brain went.
It says we're upping the ante, but we're not going to be able to do it with more money. That keeps it tight and lean and mean and forces us to make decisions. Which, as a horror fan, hallelujah, nothing's better than a cheap horror movie. There's a lot of setting up that we did in the first one that we don't have to deal with in this one now. It can all just be payoff. He says, I've come up with some stuff that's going to be challenging, and this is talking about kills.
Oh boy!
And I want it to be challenging to pull off because if I come up with something, I've come up with some stuff that I think will make some of the best kills. Then I'm going to do that, and I'm never going to make another movie again. So,
holy crap!
I don't think he's being serious, but either way, that sounds great. And then too bad Hayden's not here for this one. Next up, Evil Dead has a new movie coming out. It's officially been titled Evil Dead Burn, and it is happening in 2026.
Oh, boy.
So the director is Sebastian Vanek, and he's got some things on his name that show that he's not from around here.
Some of the little and
yeah, that I don't understand, so I don't know if I'm even saying his name right. But he said, quote, I told the studio that I want to make a nasty film. A film that hurts, from which you can come away tested. I'm going to put all the horror I have inside, and it will be cathartic. And if I haven't ruined my career and then I can continue to make films behind it, I will move on to something other than horror. So
he's going to go out of his way to try and gross people out.
Yes. So, yes, we are going to be there.
There is no discussion. We're going to be there. Huh?
Absolutely. Next up, Final Destination.
Can I speak for Hayden? I'm going to be sick that night. I'm going to have diarrhea.
Yeah, he says that, but it never works out. Next up, Final Destination Bloodlines gets its 2025 release date.
Oh, I forgot we were getting a new Final Destination.
And not only that, but it's a summer release date.
Hey, summer horror!
May 16th, 2025. And I always love when horror movies have the balls to come out in the summer. It's always promising.
That's awesome.
Next up, Austin Butler is wait, did I?
He just got cast in something.
Yeah. Wait, what did I?
Uh-oh.
I must have skipped an entire row. There we go. Austin Butler is set to play Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, American Psycho remake.
A new American Psycho adaptation. It is a book, so I'm going to call it a new adaptation.
New adaptation, okay.
So yeah, I mean, I don't know why, because the original is still brilliant.
And it's still right there.
But it is a new adaptation, I guess. Austin Butler's not a bad pick to play.
Let's modernize
a Patrick Bateman. So
let's modernize Patrick Bateman
we'll
and see what he does with the whole, social media and stuff.
Yeah.
That's going to be interesting.
All right. There we go. Now, next up, Jennifer Love Hewitt has been confirmed for the next I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, boy.
And we got our first set photo.
That's a hook.
That is a very good hook there.
It's going on my list.
So, yeah, the old one?
I watched it once.
Oh, it's good. It's a good one. It's got your
Sarah Michelle Gellar and Freddie Prinze, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that where they met? Because they're married.
Yeah.
So.
And Sean Phillippe, which I always remember him because he was originally going to be the actor for Anakin Skywalker in Episode 2.
Phillippe.
Yeah, Phillippe.
It's a fun name.
Next up, we've got rumors for the HBO Harry Potter, the castings.
The Harry Potter?
So we've got, these are all just rumors.
Yep.
So Snape is Papa Isadu.
Yep.
Hagrid is allegedly Brett Goldstein.
Yep.
Which is Roy fucking Kent.
Roy Kent. He's there. He's every fucking way. Roy Kent.
And then Dumbledore is allegedly Mark Strong. These are all what their desires.
Yep.
These aren't nothing confirmed.
Nothing confirmed.
And then Minerva
Minerva McGonagall.
Okay, is Sharon Horgan.
I need to read some of these names for you, don't I?
And she was in The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which is a wonderful movie, too.
Okay.
Also, Rachel Weisz is on the list as well, but no word on what role she might play. She is a wonderful actor.
Bellatrix Lestrange.
Also, they've reportedly had 32,000 audition tapes sent in for the 3 children.
Oh, my God.
32,000.
Well, I mean, we're talking like generational wealth. Like, look at
I know. Yeah.
Emma Watson, Daniel Radcliffe, and Rupert Grint. They're like fucking.
I get it, but 32,000, that's a lot of fucking kids.
That's not enough. Need
Jesus.
more.
Jesus Christ. Next up, we got a rough idea of HBO's release for the next number of months. An HBO executive had a quote, and he was talking to, I think, a press thing or for like investors or some dumb shit. And he said, our biggest tentpole started to come back in rotation this summer with House of the Dragon Season 2, which we just had. Then we go to White Lotus, which comes out the first quarter in February. Then we go to The Last of Us Season 2 in the second quarter.
Whoop.
And then we have the new Game of Thrones series, A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, a smaller scale series that will come out over the summer. So
What's that one about?
That one is titled A Night of the Seven Kingdoms. It is a 6-episode show based on the tales of Dunk and Egg. Something from the books. I don't know.
All right.
So, we got that. And then next up, we've got a new Malcolm in the Middle show.
I heard about this.
So it's a limited series. Frankie Muniz, Bryan Cranston, and James Kazmarnik are all confirmed for returns. Quote, Malcolm and his daughters are drawn into the family chaos when Hal and Lois demand their presence for their 40th wedding anniversary party. The original creator is back, and I think writing all 4 episodes, so it's only 4 episodes long. So pretty happy about that. And then we got the final stretch here. We got some Star Wars news. I put that right at the end
because we're going to be talking Star Wars.
So Dave Filoni, first of all, talking Mando and Grogu film. Quote, John and I had a great time working on that, as we always do, he said. It was great seeing Grogu. He's become such a star. It's amazing how it's evolved. What we can now do with puppetry compared to season 1 and with where we are today in film. Working with a team, which I worked quite a bit with on the puppetry legacy effects. They did a fantastic job, and it's a wonderful little creation. And what a wonderful little creation that Grogu is.
Wait, Grogu's a puppet? He's not real?
No.
What?
No. We didn't believe in him enough, so he died. So they had to get a puppet to replace him.
Can I clap and bring him back?
I just love that I killed Baby Yoda here on the episode. That's going to make some people happy.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe your wife.
No.
I mean, I do have him right behind me here. I could always grab him and punch him like Ted Lasso did.
Ted Lasso does.
Next up, we got Filoni talking Ahsoka Season 2. So he said, quote, I'm well into that as well. I've been writing it, and I'm still the only writer on it, and I've been enjoying doing that, but it's a challenge, and of course, working some of these arcs through has been challenging, and to make sure that it's all going to come out the way I think is exciting for fans. I know that they're interested in where some of the things I've developed in Season 1 are going to go. I'm pretty happy with it. Love working with Rosario, and I can't wait to get back to that. Some people took this as like a confirmation that Season 2 is happening, but we already had a confirmation a while back. But either way, it's still kind of cool to hear him talking about it. So
there's a message for you in the chat from my wife.
And then last up, out of the realm of I never thought I would hear this, but Jeremy Allen White from The Bear, Eddie Dean, people have said it would be a great Eddie Dean, has joined.
He's like the lead of
The Bear.
The Bear.
Yes. He has joined The Mandalorian and Grogu. That was actually not news. He's been a part of the show for a while.
But
it has now been revealed he is going to be voicing the son of Jabba the Hutt. Roto the Hutt, or as Clone Wars fans might know him as his Ahsoka nickname, Stinky. So, never thought the Bear actor would be our next Hutt. But, dude, I am unabashedly a fucking Hutt fan. I love Hutts. I love Jabba the Hutt. Dude, one of the greatest moments in, like, the new era is the Hutt showing up in Book of Boba Fett. It's one of my favorite I love Hutts, dude. They're the coolest fucking creatures. So previously, White had said, quote, I'm playing a role in Mandalorian and Grogu, which will be directed by Jon Favreau. I got to meet Grogu for the first time the other day. I'm filming that before I go to London for The Tempest at the end of the year. So, yeah, just that was an older quote, but now we know that he is going to be voicing a Hutt. And that Hutt is one that we're familiar with, too.
He's the Hutt.
Yeah, it's like outside of, like, Jabba. Like,
I mean, Jabba's gone. That's what I'm saying. It's like Jabba's gone, so we got his son.
Yeah, indeed. Really excited for that.
That's going to be awesome.
So next up, that is bringing us over to the main topic. I'm actually going to try to remember to right there's the marker, and move on over to. There's a thing I do with markers. I don't
Does
know.
like the chapters on YouTube?
Maybe, I don't know. It's his new button that showed up, so I wanted to do it because I do wonder at times if anyone tuned into the show, we get to the main topic about halfway in. So
Yeah.
I'll make a mark there. So we are now moving over to the main topic, which of course is Revenge of the Sith.
Star Wars Episode 3.
So I'll hand it over to you. It is your topic. I know
Yeah.
we did discuss it yesterday, where you were like thinking about delaying this episode because
I almost called an audible so that we could talk about Skeleton Crew, which I think that should be had at some point.
oh, for sure. But you also were worried because next year, a few
in literally
3 weeks from
in
now, we're
6
gonna be
months, little under 6 months, about 5 months away. We're about to hit the 20th anniversary for Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So it's like, man, like maybe we should pocket this one and kind of hold on to it. I mean, Revenge of the Sith is literally coming back in theaters. They're gonna have like a whole
they
big
haven't announced that yet.
thing. They
Most
did.
people are assuming it, but
They
that's,
did announce it, didn't they?
No.
Oh, I swore they did.
No, there's been no official announcement of but most people assume because they did one for Revenge or Phantom Menace was 25 years this year, and everyone's assuming. But the problem is the Phantom Menace has now had 2 or 3 theatrical runs, and every time they start like a new thing to like put them all out in theaters, it always peters out, and then we don't get Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. So everyone's hoping that the 20th. Everyone's even assuming it's going to happen, but so far there's no announcement. We'll keep our eyes out for that.
Okay, if you say so.
If they don't, I will crash a Star Destroyer into Disney's building.
Wait, you have a Star Destroyer?
Of course I do.
That-
It's on the dark side of the moon.
It's on the dark side of the moon. Of course it is. So I thought about calling an audible. I thought maybe we could just plug it with talking about
But
Skeleton
I
Crew.
said absolutely.
You said no. You want to talk about it. I did happen to notice that conveniently left off of both of our watching was Star Wars Episode 3.
That's true.
I did not rewatch it. I felt kind of guilty, but then I noticed that you didn't rewatch it. So I want this to be known. We are going entirely off of memory, but I will say
I actually did rewatch it last week. I just
Oh,
forgot-
did you?
I
You forgot to put it on there. Oh, I forgot.
But
I forgot. But I will be saying I am going entirely from memory, and I will say
here's how I went. I went to basically just the, Anakin and Padme fight, and then
Yeah.
just watch like the last 20, 30 minutes.
Sure.
And then after that, I was like, you know what, fuck it. When we started
Started-
because I just wanted like the like that duel
Yeah.
for the most part.
Oh, it's
but then you
amazing.
can't watch that duel without then just watching the rest of the film.
Sure.
And then I got to the credits and I'm like, why didn't I just watch the whole movie?
Yeah.
Well, twist my arm.
Started it over. I honestly just forgot. I feel bad, but I honestly just forgot. But I don't need to watch it because I have that movie fucking memorized.
Yeah.
I literally could probably quote 80% of that movie. So we've talked about it before, but this is
it may be the most used thing on our board, right?
we have 2 buttons for it. So
That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
not that one.
Hello there.
That one. 3. So 3 buttons.
we got
3 buttons for that. So it is definitely the one that started the random quotes throwing at each other.
Yeah.
I will say started because Band of Brothers existed before Revenge of the Sith. Flash, Thunder,
yeah.
and stuff like that.
And we threw some Star Wars lines before Revenge of the Sith
There
came
was
out.
some stuff from Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace and everything like that. But Revenge of the Sith holds a special place in our friendship and in our hearts because it was the first Star Wars.
Opening night we went together because we did watch 2 together.
We did watch 2 together, but it was like
3 or 4
it was
months
like
after the
yeah,
movie
it was
came
like
out.
July
We
when
had
we
both
went
already
and watched
we'd
it.
already seen it as well,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like a fresh
Right.
nothing like that.
But
3
it
though.
was my first time seeing Star Wars on an opening night. Tad had, of course, seen episodes 1 and 2 on opening nights.
and the originals in '97.
And the originals when they came to theaters in 97.
Yeah.
But I had never seen an opening night Star Wars, which I will say was an experience because Tad and I did it proper. I think I've told this story before, or he's told this story before, but I'm just going to go over it one more time for anyone who hasn't listened to every single episode. In May of 2005, we were out of high school.
Yeah.
And we took the time off work and decided to, because back then, you didn't have assigned seating in theaters.
Yeah.
It was first come, first serve.
It was truly the dark times.
It was. You would show up, you would pay your money, you would be moved inside, pay your money, go to the concession stand, and then you would line up, and they would open the door, and it would be a stampede to get to your seats, kind of thing.
Truly chaos.
Truly chaos. And we actually did it right, where I think it was me that would go get the concessions, and you would
We
go.
went and got our seats, and then one at a time we went.
Oh,
to the
then we would.
concessions.
Yeah, that's what. You're right. I knew there was a method that we did.
Yeah,
and that's what we did.
Seats are far more important than popcorn.
Right, and so we got. If I remember right, that midnight showing, because that's the thing, is we went to the midnight showing. That's back when they still had midnight showings.
Yeah.
We had pretty good seats, like right in the middle, didn't we?
Oh yeah, because we were first in line. Well, no, we weren't first.
I
but
think we were like fourth.
We were up there in line for sure.
And so we went and saw it at midnight. There was the whole big hoopla with like when the fanfare starts and the credits start to roll. People are cheering and lightsabers are being ignited and everything.
People are in costume.
People are dressed up.
People are hooting and hollering about specific characters.
Yeah,
showing
Yoda
up.
shows up on screen.
Not
people
Yoda
scream.
though. I expected it because Yoda's so dark.
Yeah.
Because the first time he shows up when Anakin's talking about the fucking
Oh,
vision.
right.
That was just too bleak. Where everyone.
R2 definitely got a cheer.
Yeah.
Right there at the beginning, where because he's the first character you see, right? Because the ship,
the outside ship shot.
Well, you got the outside ship shots where it's a distance away, but then when it comes up, it like zooms. It's up close, and you can see R2, and then Anakin's first line in the movie says, "Lock onto him, R2."
And that opening.
Oh, dude, the opening over court. I was gonna get there.
Okay.
I was gonna get there.
We're already in the realm, so I just want to.
We're already in the realm. Yeah, no, we're gonna get there. But so we watched it at midnight, and we turned around and got right back in line.
Yeah.
And I say I was there for a little bit. Tad stayed the entire night. Trooper over here.
Yeah.
Stayed the entire night outside the
theater. That is also only part of the problem because the midnight showing, the day before, I was like I woke up at 10 or so because it was like stay up late and all that shit. Get up. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to drive by the theater just in case. And this is like 10 o'clock, I think. I go and drive. There's already people in line. I'm like, oh my God.
Shit.
So I sprint home, shower, grab a camping chair. I end up getting in line at 11 a.m.
11 a.m.
So
the night before the midnight showing.
The day before. 11 a.m.
The 11 a.m. Yeah. The day before.
13 hours before the show time.
Yep.
And just stayed in line from then. We went to that first screening. Went right back out into the line for the next showing, which was noon.
And I left in between the midnight showing and the noon one. I came back with refreshments and revitalization for Tad and everything, and then we went in and we saw the noon showing, and then we proceeded to walk out, went right back in line. I think I stayed that time
for the 7 p.m. showing.
For the 7 p.m. showing, and then your dad joined us for that one. That one we were off to the side though. On that one, we were a little bit.
Your sister too.
My sister joined us and everything, and that one was fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
Like I thought the midnight showing was crazy, but the 7 o'clock showing on opening night was had to have been 30 lightsabers.
Oh yeah.
And this is back when lightsabers were $200-$300 a piece.
Yeah.
Not like this.
They still are.
No, they were even more expensive because remember that's how much we ended up paying for them a year or so later. Back then, that was the Force FX special effects one.
They're a couple $100, but
I thought they were more than that.
No, they're
okay.
No, they're about $200.
But man, there were so many people in costumes. There was so much cheering. I think at one point something happened and someone threw popcorn up in the air, like throwing his hat at graduation kind of thing.
You know what? I know what it was.
What was it?
First time 3PO showed up.
No, it was not. No, it was not. No one likes 3PO except you.
3PO's the best.
No,
dude.
he's not. He's the absolute worst.
He's the best.
Dude, a gonk droid is better than 3PO. And a gonk droid doesn't do shit.
I love gonk droids, but no. Not
Everyone loves gonk droids, but what do they do?
I have a gonk droid sticker up there.
You do. Wall. He's right there.
But yeah, no, I'm watching a reaction channel guy that he's actually going through Clone Wars right now. 3PO is his favorite, and actually there was he's season 4 of Clone Wars. There's finally an episode that R2 did something where he's like, man, R2's starting to get close to 3PO for me. For favorites. So.
It's the worst.
It's great.
It's one of the best things about episode 3 is there's very little 3PO.
But the reason that we wanted to hit it up so many times is because like that was the last Star Wars movie.
Yeah, we thought that was it.
Like Lucas was saying it, and I think truly believed it at that point where it's like this is the last hurrah. I'm done.
We have to see it so many times.
Yeah.
I think we ended up seeing it a bunch more times after that too.
Yeah, but that
Not nearly as much as you saw episode 1.
But I remember telling you like the opening night vibe. You're only going to ever get that once,
and
so,
this would be my last chance.
And it's like so let's maximize. And I knew the noon show would be kind of more like low key because like that's like dudes in suits that like ducked out of the office for a couple hours. Like so you don't have.
And it was a Friday.
Yeah.
So
it's like, it wasn't super crazy, but that was probably the one that I was able to like catch the most of like the small details and stuff. Because like one, it's my second time watching, but two, like. It isn't like lightsabers in my face. There was nobody in costume. Like, it was nothing crazy. So
still sold out though.
Oh yeah, no, it was absolutely.
It was absolutely packed.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's our story for that. Seeing episode 3. Now, just basically going in and talking about the movie. Like, easily for me, one of the best intros into Star Wars.
It's the best. There's not a better.
You think it's
there's
the best?
For me, there's not a better.
Out of the 9 movies?
Not even close.
Yeah,
not even close. I mean,
that Battle of Coruscant.
A New Hope is great, and it's probably the number 2. But I mean, my God, dude,
it's so beautiful.
And it's like super low key because it's being blocked at first, and like they fly down, and like suddenly it's this massive fucking battle. Incredible. The war drums and the soundtrack, which still pisses me off because that's not actually on the score. That part's missing.
That's part of the movie, not the score.
The music's there, but not the drum. But it's not. There's nobody pounding a drum in the movie, so
you don't know that.
It pisses me off.
There's space drums. There's just guys over there outside of Coruscant just banging on drums.
Just a giant like King Kong size like like droid that's just like pounding a giant drum.
Very Mad Max style. He has like a mask on and breathing fire and shit.
Yeah. But I mean, there's also a lot of excitement for this one because I think everyone going into the prequel trilogy in real time. I mean, I know there's a whole generation of people now that grew up on it, and that's different. But I think that everyone going into the prequel trilogy, it's the birth of Vader. Like
they knew what's coming.
The only thing that there's only a very small points that we kind of knew, and we knew at the end of it all would be Vader.
It's got to be Vader.
I remember there was a bunch of like speculation on like how soon is he going to be Vader in the third movie? Like, is he going to? We're going to get like an hour worth of Vader. Or is it going to be the tail end? Like I just remember all the like the wild speculation, and like there was just something about 3 to where it was just like everything was building to that. So there was just the hype for it was unreal. It was, I mean, the hype meter though it doesn't rank as high because like the all-time hype is Phantom Menace.
Sure.
The hype for that was like Beatlemania. And then I think episode 7 is number 2. I think that the hype.
Yeah, the fact that we were getting another Star Wars film.
Yeah.
I just remember John's email, so let me read through that real fast.
Yeah.
He says, my thoughts of episode 3. Being a little older than you guys, late 40s, I grew up with the original trilogy and would still place those 3 above of the prequels. Speaking of the prequels in general, I don't mind. I thoroughly dislike 2, and 3 is okay. I just don't like I don't mind 1, not 1. I don't mind 1, thoroughly dislike 2, and 3 is okay. I just don't like the newness, quotes around that, of everything. I prefer the well-worn worlds of the originals. That being said, 3 had some great scenes. Dooku's death, opening space fight. We just talked about that.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan versus Grievous. Hey, Obi-Wan, call out for you. And the end fight. But it's held down by hokey melodrama, killing younglings, and Padme dying of sadness. Seeing Anakin put on the Vader suit was fantastic. The no that immediately follows was horrible. So many people don't like the no.
Oh, I love it, man.
Final thoughts. Meh sums it up nicely for me. Probably the best of the originals. I think he means the prequels. Oh, probably the best of the prequels. Lands at 6 in a list of all 9 main movies. 5, 4, 6, 8, 7, 3, 9, 1, 2 is his rankings. Keep up the great work, John from Buffalo.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing I want to address there is I have a theory on Padme.
Okay.
Padme doesn't die of sadness. The droids can't understand what it is, and that's what they're alluding it to.
Okay.
But I truly believe that Palpatine is siphoning life from her to sustain Anakin. There is heartbeats happening in that scene that I've actually even heard a Lucasfilm sound person say like they were very
intentional,
purposeful and intentional but that's all he would say. And I'm like, also, immediately, how does Palpatine know to tell Vader that Padme's dead? He's not there. They're on a hidden fucking moon.
Yeah.
Like, they're not sending out a fucking pamphlet, like, immediately, or a press release.
Yeah,
saying,
the Empire would be there being like, oh, hey, rebels.
Yeah, or it's like, oh, hey, Senator, Amidala just passed. Like, no, it was like immediate, like within like minutes, he's able to tell Anakin that she's dead. How does he know that?
Through the Force,
So,
right.
It's like...
Well, what if he can sense her through the Force that far away? What else is he doing through the Force?
Yeah. So...
And we know that he does some fucked up shit with the Force, so...
Yeah.
Okay.
So I do 100% believe that he siphoned life essence from her.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more than just she died of a broken heart. So
Yeah.
I know that's the line in the movie, but I don't know. That's just, if we're talking fan theories of like, I don't know, that's one that I've always held to for
I gotcha.
decades now. So... Yeah,
I mean, it is what it is. I don't have a problem with her dying of sadness. Honestly, there's a little bit of like, well, she has kids to raise. Like, what are you doing? But honestly, at the end of the day, if the love of your life becomes the most evil person on the planet in the universe
and tries to kill you,
and I mean, maybe she knows where he's going. She knows what he's capable of. She's seen what he's done.
Yeah.
I mean, at least we forget. She was there on Tatooine, and he talked to her about what he did after what happened to his mom.
Yeah.
So, it very well could be that her body and her spirit just gave up.
Yeah.
It also could just be the actions of the Force. That the Force has a prophecy to fulfill. It has a predetermined set of things that have to happen.
Yeah.
And one of them is, unfortunately, that Padme has to go.
But I also think that Padme is the biggest threat to Vader.
Oh, yeah,
for
absolutely.
Palpatine, right? Like the one.
If there's one person that could pull Vader back, it's probably Padme.
It's her.
Until the kids are born.
But
then the kids are an iffy thing. We don't know how he's going to take to kids and stuff like that.
But I also think
Padme's a guarantee.
But I think those are, even the kids, they're secondary to her.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
No,
that's what I'm saying.
She will be
There's a chance that he may not even care that he has kids.
Yeah.
There's a chance that he may just be like, you just remind me of her, and she betrayed me. We don't know how he's going to feel towards them.
Yeah.
There is 100% chance that Padme could redeem.
Yeah. So that also goes into the realm of like, even if it's not to like sustain him and he's taking her life force, what if he's just killing her?
It's an assassination.
Yeah, he's just killing her from a distance because it's like and also, what is the one clone that he calls personally? There's a broadcast to everyone, Order 66. Who is the one clone that is called directly?
Cody.
Exactly, because Obi-Wan Kenobi would also be a very big threat to the game that Palpatine is setting up. Because potentially. I think us as the audience would probably know they're like, he's manipulated Obi-Wan enough he's manipulated Anakin enough that I don't think Obi-Wan's that much of a threat. Now, physically a threat, yes, but I don't think Obi-Wan's pulling him from
I think there's a different threat
it could be
thing with Padme and Obi-Wan. Like you're saying, is that Obi-Wan's a threat to physically stop and cut down Vader and end him.
Yeah.
Which he thinks he does on Mustafar.
Yeah.
Padme is the one that can end Vader and bring back Anakin. Obi-Wan has basically given up hope. There is no...
I also think that Obi-Wan, if it were roles were reversed, I don't know if Yoda can beat Anakin, but I do actually think Obi-Wan could beat Palpatine.
You think he could?
I do.
That's an interesting
Obi-Wan's
take.
a fucking G, dude. Like, just think of everything he's done. I legitimately think... Now, he wouldn't know him as well as he knows Anakin, so it wouldn't be probably the same kind of duel, but Obi-Wan is a very tough one to
You don't think that Palpatine would just overpower him with the Force?
No, I think that would be the attempt, and I don't think that Obi-Wan would like necessarily get out undamaged. I don't think it would be like a walk in the park for him.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that he could have beat either of the Sith when it comes down to that. Him and Yoda talking, and he even says, "Send me after Palpatine." Like, would he say that if he thought it was like absolutely like a suicide run?
At that point, though, does he have anything else to live for? It could be a suicide run. Like the entire Order is dead for all he knows.
Yeah.
With everything that he's seen at the temple and everything and the security footage. If you go into the security footage, only pain will you find. Maybe at that point, Obi-Wan's just like, don't send me to kill my brother. I'm not going to be able to do it anyway.
Yeah.
Send me to kill Palpatine. And then he's like, all right, at least I'll die like a Jedi. I honestly could see Obi-Wan being just like, dude, fuck it. This all went fucking wrong, and I'm partially to blame.
Yeah.
That's my Padawan that did this, you know? Like...
How many times have I given you that line back in the day when you were like, I need to look up 49ers highlights?
Oh yeah.
If into the highlights you go, only pain will
what you find. Yeah. Back before I knew like what the score would be and everything like that. I didn't watch the Niners game. No.
Back in like even before YouTube, back when you just like watch like some shitty video where it was just like highlights.
Yeah.
And it's just like I've given you that one. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But no, I do. I really think that Obi-Wan is legit.
I mean, his Sith Lords are his speciality.
That's true. Although one thing I will say that I was thinking about it while watching that reactor going through the Clone Wars, because Darth Maul comes back, the first Sith Lord to be killed is Dooku.
Sith is Maul even a Sith Lord?
Yeah, I mean, well,
I thought he was just an apprentice.
Well, no, he's a Sith. I mean,
okay,
it gets into the realm of like calling any Jedi a master unless they're a Padawan. Like it's
Yeah.
that kind. When I say Lord, I mean in terms of like a Sith practitioner.
I mean, Padme definitely corrects when someone calls him a knight.
You know,
No, he's only a Padawan.
She does. But all through the Clone Wars, you hear Ahsoka calling him master and stuff. So, but I'm just saying that it is one of those things that poor Obi-Wan did get that title ripped from him.
I mean,
and then,
he makes good on it in the end.
He does in the end. That's true. But the first Sith killed in like 1,000 years or whatever it is, like would have been Dooku, which is wild.
Anakin.
In this movie.
Wait, isn't there someone in the Clone Wars that is Sith that gets killed?
No.
No one?
No. I mean, you could like make the argument like Asajj Ventress and like some of those are being like cultivated for potential, but like until you overthrow the master and then like it becomes the master and apprentice, like they're not Sith. It's almost like the Inquisitors. Like it's a lower level thing. Like it's like
they're not Sith. They're Sith adjacent.
Yeah, you haven't made the team. It's kind of like being in a practice squad in the.
You're a 49er, but you're not actually on the 49ers.
You're not really. You go on the website, you're not going to find your name on there. But
yeah, that's right.
You make the cuts, then yeah, we'll put you.
Not unless you click on like the practice squad, not the active roster kind of thing. So with this, is there any character designs that like stick out to you? Because I know like that's one of the big things, especially
like that are new.
Well, especially new ones. Like with the prequels, that's one of the big things. Is like we got Dax in episode 2.
I think the dude from Ace Ventura 2 that plays the
sixth level.
Yeah, thousands of battle droids, which is the fucking poacher from Ace Ventura.
Yeah, that's the poacher from Ace Ventura.
I love that character design with like is he a Mun? I'm blanking.
I don't know. I never have been able to keep up with all the species.
That character is really awesome design wise. But in terms of 3, I'm trying to think through if there's any other new aliens because 3 is such a follow up that like I feel like you even get some in episode 2 that are newer. But 3, I don't know if you get a whole lot of
3 we get in 2 we get a ton of new ones.
And
we get
1 of course,
the shapeshifter assassin.
Yeah,
you get
Zeb
that.
Wessel.
You get Dax is a big one. I fucking love
the
Dax.
Geonosians.
The Geonosians is a big one.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of stuff.
Even around the table for the separatists.
Yeah, Poggle the Lesser, a bunch of those other
the banking clan. And everything.
Yeah, but 3 there just isn't as many. You see like some little tiny dudes come and work on Obi-Wan's ship there on Utapau. You got the new Wookiee, if you want to count that.
There's a lot of
Tarful.
the Wookiees are pretty cool to see that on Kashyyyk and everything. I think that may be like my MVP for like new. Let's just call it that, new things to Star Wars. Not necessarily new character designs, but like new things to Star Wars.
New things. One of my absolute favorites is back to the opening. Is when you get the 2 giant ships going side by side. And you see the cannons just fucking unloading.
just like an old school like wooden ships, pirates
naval
versus
battle.
Yeah, Spain versus England naval battles. Battle of
that's one of my
that's
one of my absolute favorite things. And I don't outside of the Clone Wars, I don't think we feel like we've ever revisited that. You don't see large ships,
capital ships
in that way.
No, they send snub fighters in because of how devastating it is to your capital ship. So that's why they started stocking up more on TIE fighters and X-wings.
Yeah,
you see kind of like the evolution of space combat.
Yeah,
naval combat.
Ooh, Grievous's guard droids are new.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Grievous is new.
Grievous is new.
Oh yeah,
geez, we forgot about Grievous. Yeah. We
again,
can't forget about who Obi-Wan's talking to.
Again, I think the problem is Clone Wars gets polluted in my mind.
Oh yeah, Clone Wars comes after. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it does
You're
come
right.
after, but it's like he's got to be the MVP.
It's Grievous. Yeah,
it's Grievous. I mean,
the 4 arms with the lightsabers.
Yeah,
the fact that he's taken those from fallen
the
Jedi.
spider walk,
spider crawl. Yeah. And then how he gets into the bike. Have you ever like actually like
The way he,
slowed
rolls,
that down?
Yeah, the way he like rolls.
He like
up into
rolls into the bike with like
Yeah.
his back feet.
and the fact that
first.
he's like a cybernetic, like an android,
cyborg?
not an android,
Cyborg.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like he's got like a
internal
meat, a meat
organs,
sack.
a brain, and then like
Eyes.
eyes, and then like everything else is robotics. It's like,
Yeah,
what the hell is this thing? You know, like
it's such a cool. And of course, there's the whole like thing where it's like all the bad guys in the original trilogy mimic some aspect of Anakin. You got the fallen Jedi with Dooku. You've got the organism that is destroyed in a way to where he has to basically be built into a droid with Grievous. And then you've got what is it with Maul? I'm forgetting what it was.
he's like the apprentice.
Maybe it is just the apprentice. I don't remember what it was. There's a whole thing that I've seen on that before but it's just like they're, especially though moving into episode 3, like the two that you're going to see are both very reminiscent of what
Vader is.
Yeah, what lays ahead for
Yeah.
Anakin with Vader. So
let me ask you this. I've never actually thought about that, the anticipation building up for episode 3 with Vader not knowing how much we're going to get of Vader. If you could travel back in time to 2000 and George Lucas is like, "Oh, you're from the future. What would the people prefer? More Vader or less, or the amount of Vader that I have? What would you say?"
I think what is there is right. Honestly,
More Anakin.
in the younger days, I drooled at the idea of like him turning into Vader like midway through the movie, and you got another hour of the movie of him just being fucking Vader. But
Yeah.
like, Vader is sometimes better in less. You know,
He's in small doses.
yeah, exactly, because it makes him more special and more menacing. And also, I do love
Well, it's the same thing as like a killer in a horror film.
yeah,
You don't just show Michael Myers in the first like 6 seconds.
or Jaws.
Well, or Jaws is a perfect example.
Yeah.
You don't show the shark until how long into the movie?
Yeah.
He's in scenes, but you just don't see him.
Yeah.
But even like Michael Myers, like you set up Michael Myers, but then how long do we go without him?
Yeah,
Like, how long until you see him with the mask on for the first time?
yeah.
You know, that kind of thing. So that's like with Vader is like small doses. Like
And-
look how much he's in episode 4.
Yeah, not as much.
Not as much.
I will say too, what I do love is like, you know, I saw a video recently where they were interviewing Hayden, and he was talking about how like, you know, he wasn't originally going to be in the suit, and he kind of advocated like, I want to do it and stuff, and Lucas gave it to him. And he's like, it was just weird because it's just so different, like, you know, being an actor to suddenly have to wear all this shit. And he's like, I didn't know if I could like be smooth or anything. And Lucas is like, it doesn't matter. He's like, this is the first time you're ever in the suit. He's like, if you look awkward, like that's good. Like
Yeah.
that's the way it should be.
Well, I mean, that's the other thing also is like people talk about like the no. John even brought it up and everything. People are always like, oh, it's so terrible and he looks so weird and he moves so funny. And I'm like, dude lost 3 limbs.
yeah,
Right?
and was burned.
And was burned by lava. Like, yeah, there's going to be some transition period. I mean,
Yeah.
like, kind of some slack,
Plus,
man.
I think it's somewhere in one of the comics or books they've now officially confirmed that like a story point that Palpatine like purposely designed the suit to be as uncomfortable and painful as possible.
Yeah, like he's in constant pain in the suit, isn't he?
Yeah.
Like that's why he has like his chamber
The
in
back
episode
to, the back
5.
to tanks and stuff. Yeah.
Well, no, like in episode 5, like he has this little
yeah,
cone
the
thing, that
hyperbaric chamber.
the hyperbaric chamber, where he can take his helmet off,
Yeah.
and actually like breathe for a little bit
Yeah.
without having to have the respirator and the,
Yeah.
you know, kind of thing. So like, yeah, that dude.
But just the way
Palpatine's
the way that tail end plays out is just so perfect that it's like
Yeah.
I can't imagine trying to do like an hour of Vader at the end of that movie. I mean,
Yeah.
we kind of do, right? Like he does fall. It's just a matter of
Yeah, you could have like the whole march
We-
on the temple as Vader. Then it's
that
not-
wouldn't have made
Well,
sense.
see, here's the thing. I would here's what I would argue that does make sense for that. Is like in Rebels you have Ahsoka acting like, well, are you my master? You couldn't be my master. No one was. My master would have never done the evil things that you've done.
Yeah.
Anakin marched on the temple, not
No,
Vader.
Vader did.
Well, we know it's Vader, but an average Coruscant person who's watching out his window goes, "Oh my fucking god, that's General Skywalker." He's not going to know that's fucking Vader, you know, and everything. I know he's got his hood up and everything like that.
Yeah.
But I am assuming that it's in the Hollow film. He doesn't have his cloak on. He's fighting free and everything like that.
Yeah.
He does in the I guess he does have it on
but
when he goes and kills the young ones.
They also make it pretty much public that the Jedi tried to overthrow.
I mean, yes, it's
which
true.
of course they did. So
Stop it.
it's treason then.
Dude, he never should have had power to begin with. That's the thing you're always forgetting. Is it's like, oh, they're trying to overthrow the Chancellor. They're terrorists. Yeah, is he actually the Chancellor if he obtained it illegally?
Here's the thing, though. The more you watch this movie, earlier on they talk about like what they should do, and they're not saying we should overthrow him. That suddenly gets wrinkled in as they're flying to the fucking office for like. There's just one of those weird things where it's like
when they're leaving Anakin behind, that they're just like, yep, we're gonna go overthrow him.
Yeah, and it's just and it's like suddenly like, wait, where did your plan change? Because you guys,
Dude, you know what I say? I think Palpatine's the one that just planted that in their brain. Because if they just go and they're just like, hey, we're just going to arrest him, and he's like, and they don't draw their weapons. Like, let's that's the thing that a lot of people point at. You're under arrest. Bang, 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 bang. Then you start shooting at the person.
Yeah.
Like when you're going to arrest them.
Yeah.
That's not an arrest. You know, like we've seen that in film before from dirty cops. Guys like Gary Oldman in The Professional.
Yeah.
You're under arrest. Don't move. Bang. Like they don't even give him a chance to surrender. That's what a lot of people are equating to, Mace Windu and his Jedi masters there. Knights, masters, whatever they are. His 3 guys.
Yeah.
And what if Palpatine's the one that planted that? Because, like, Mace Windu's like a Sith Lord.
I mean,
he's like, oh my God.
It could be like the darkness.
Yes.
Right.
Well, we've talked about this before. Me and you have talked about this, is that we both believe that the Jedi are being corrupted on Coruscant. Mace Windu, Yoda, Plo Koon.
Which comes in episode 2. They say that, we should tell the Chancellor that our ability to use the Force is diminished.
Exactly. And that's the thing is, like, because Palpatine is doing something.
Yeah.
I wholeheartedly believe that because the Jedi teachings that we've heard through every source of media, and I'm even talking like expanded universe stuff included in everything, is always about being the good, the truth, the justice, and the what's the Jedi, not the Superman one, true justice in the American way. What's the Jedi one? The protectors and keepers of the peace of the galaxy, the knights of the galaxy kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's not what they're doing, and you've argued this for decades with me.
But I don't think that can be laid on Palpatine because I think
it's not only on Palpatine.
Because I think I think like I always love pointing at like if you look at like the biblical stuff is like I believe that the Jedi Order long before the movies we see kind of became the Pharisees, like the religious teachers that Jesus was constantly like saying like, hey, you're wrong. Like, I know this more than you and you're wrong.
That's my dad's teachings.
You become so corrupted in your normal ways and like making yourself high and mighty that you've forgotten the truth that you alleged to be. Like that's how I always view the Jedi. And I think that like now with like Acolyte and stuff shows like 100 years before, it's already starting then. So like I was discussing that with someone at work just a few days ago where I was like, I would love at some point to jump into a thing where when the Jedi aren't corrupted yet, because I was hoping
what does it look like?
Because I was hoping that was going to be Acolyte, and I truly think what it comes down to is like they should be like Buddhist monks, like they should not be involved in politics and all that. They should just be like almost like the fucking samurai, like they wander and help people, but they're not like part of like the structure of government, right? I think once they start plugging into that, which is all on Yoda, because he was the Grand Master as all that happened. Like,
sure.
It wasn't 900 years ago they were still corrupted. Like, it happened under his watch, and I think you see a huge shift with Yoda from episode 2 to episode 3, and I think that, and you start to see it a little bit in episode 2 when he talks about, like, arrogance and stuff, and, like, so I think he's starting to learn, like, oh, shit, I've been wrong. And then by episode 3, he's full on, like, no, we've made mistakes,
And that's why he goes into hiding.
Exile, yeah.
Exile is the right word.
Yeah. So I would love at some point to have something where it's like, and maybe we'll get it with the Dawn of the Jedi.
This is what the Jedi should have been.
Yeah.
This is what because that's the thing is like we have all this like exactly what you're saying. A lot of people have come out and pointed out that the Jedi were wrong. The Jedi are wrong to take children. The Jedi are wrong to do this. The Jedi are wrong to be involved in politics and everything like that. And so part of me is like you're 100% right. What is the right way?
Yeah.
What is according to the Jedi teachings? Like if you wrote down the 10 commandments of the Jedi,
yeah,
what are you supposed to do?
Yeah.
What should that look like in an episode 3, episode 2, episode 1 kind of crisis where they're I mean, the other thing that could also be said is that if this is the first time we've seen Sith in 1,000 years, they just weren't prepared for it.
Yeah. They were
That's what it comes down to, is that, you know,
they were so arrogant. They just thought like, oh, they probably don't exist anymore.
I mean, it's the same thing that happened to Great Britain, America, France in World War II. There's no way the Germans could defeat France. No one thought that. Not even Germany thought that.
Yeah.
It took them 6 weeks. You know, that's the kind of thing that happens with peacetime, is that you get complacent. And maybe that's what happened with the Jedi, is that there wasn't enough conflict with the Sith that they became complacent.
Yeah.
And a truly evil and powerful Sith like Palpatine Rose saw that they were
the cracks.
saw that they had cracked and they had slipped a little, and he knew how to butter it so that they could slip even farther.
And I know we're slightly tangenting, but I will bring it back to say, for this movie, Ian McDiarmid as Palpatine in this fucking movie.
Oh, it's so great.
Oh my god, dude. Just absolutely chewing the scenery, and he is just full on unabashed, like, because this is his moment, right?
Yeah.
Like, we've seen Palpatine where it's like, cool, I've been in charge for 20-something years, like, whatever.
Dictator and everything.
Yeah, it's like, at that a certain point, you kind of get jaded with it, where it's like, oh, I've got all these people, like, backbiting and all this, like, running a government. You've got him, like, plotting and everything before. This is his fucking moment. This is his 4th of July, right? This is his, like, and then to finally be able to reveal himself to Yoda, which he's always fucking hated, right?
Yeah.
But he's had to, like, be friendly to and stuff.
You know,
like,
Master Yoda, I always value your opinion.
Yeah.
Inside he's going, I fucking hate you.
And Ian McDiarmid, man, oh my god, just
That's so good.
One of the MVPs of the movie for me. I remember walking out in 2005 thinking the same thing, where I'm like, holy shit, dude. Like, he
nailed it.
He was just incredible.
Like, he was good in 1 and 2, and we were like, we knew.
Yeah, oh yeah.
We knew.
There was some
There
doubt.
were some questions for some people, but we knew.
Yeah.
That's Palpatine. We knew.
We just got into a realm in the early 2000s where even before, or maybe it was just after, probably around 2001, 2002, so around the time of episode 2, there were some people online that were just like, what if we're just being deceived, and what if, like, they're not the same person?
Yeah.
You know, and like, and that just gets into the realm of, like, insane theories, right? There comes a point when you get so, like, out there with your theories, and that got into that realm, but it's like, dude, we were starving for stuff, so.
And we knew in episode 1, like, it shows him
Senator
at
Palpatine.
Senator Palpatine's like, oh, fuck, there's Emperor Palpatine
that's
right
the
there.
Emperor.
And then at Qui-Gon's funeral, it plays his fucking theme. It's like, come on.
And pans over to him, and they're like, which one was destroyed, the Master or the Apprentice?
And he's got the, like, and he's just like,
Pans over to Palpatine. Oh, man.
It's like, gee, I wonder. Lucas is like, that one.
Yeah.
It's him. And everyone's like, well, I don't know. And he's like,
and then Mace Windu, a Sith Lord.
A Sith
Because, like,
Lord?
imagine the fear at that point.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, they're already nervous about the fact of how much power
I mean, it's kind of
he's
like
consolidated, and taken. And, like, then to find out, like, the Sith Lord that you've been fucking worrying about for years, you suddenly find out is the guy in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's like Game of Thrones, where it's like, oh, there's a Targaryen over there. Who the fuck cares? Wait, she has dragons?
yeah.
Wait, a Targaryen has dragons? What? You know, like, it's like you shit your pants.
Yeah.
That's kind of how it felt for them a little bit.
Yeah.
You know, and Samuel Jackson, fucking amazing.
Yeah, he's so good. I still hold a theory that Palpatine was throwing that fight.
Dude, no.
He planted the seeds in Anakin's mind. They are going to try to kill me. He needed to be on the fucking ground with Mace Windu's lightsaber to his fucking neck.
I'll still stand by my one argument that I feel like you've never debunked. Why kill the other 3? Why make it look like you were able to hold your own, but all of a sudden you can't beat Mace Windu?
Because I don't think that Mace is going to try to kill him with those others around. It's kind of like the whole thing, like, don't take a religious person fishing; they'll drink all your beer.
Yeah,
you know, you got to bring 2 of them with you.
Yeah, because then they watch each other.
Yeah, and I do think that there's, like, an element, and some of this gets into, like, the Legends EU stuff, where, like, Mace Windu is always a little bit closer to the dark side, and, like, hint of that because purple lightsaber. How do you get purple?
Red and
you
blue.
add red and blue. And, like, even his, like, people got into the realm of, like, his fighting style is the most aggressive. Like, there's all this stuff that, like, whatever. And, like, so again, if Palpatine is permeating out some fucking darkness, once those others are down, he just lets that fucking loose.
And he does have that look on his face, like,
oh yeah. And even, like, Anakin's trying to, like, reason with him. It's like, no, you can't fucking kill him. And, like, I think the thing that a lot of people overlook a little bit in my mind is like that it's just about Padme, because truthfully they establish enough in the other prequel movies, but also the Clone Wars really does it if you add that to it. Anakin is all about truth and ideals.
Oh yeah,
right? Like he is like.
Well, I mean, look at the conversation he has with Padme in Episode 2. Well, this is the way it should be. Well, it can't be that way.
Yeah.
Well, it should be.
It should
I
be.
should have power.
Or even-
I should be able to make people see the right way of doing things. Well, they don't think that that's right. Well, they should be made to. It's like, you realize you're talking like a dictatorship, right, Anakin?
Yeah.
That's not a republic. That's
Yeah.
not freedom.
But even like the conversation with Obi-Wan when he asked him to spy on Palpatine, like it's like that's treason. Like and like I think there's an element we always like everyone likes, or not everyone, but I think some people tend to just like, oh, it's all because he likes Palpatine. Oh, and it's because he wants to protect Padme.
It's the idea of the government.
Yeah, he's an idealistic person, and like even what does he say to Obi-Wan? It's not like, hey, I've saved my wife and I've put my best friend as the fucking emperor. He says, no, I brought peace, justice, and freedom to my new empire. Like it's like
your new empire. That's
like,
even
like,
Obi-Wan is aghast that he says that.
But like those are his goals. Like, and even
Yeah.
with Padme, what was his offer? Not like, hey, let's serve under Palpatine, but no, I'll kill him, and then you and I can run this the way that it needs to be ran. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think it's kind of like, and I think Dooku was like, I've always questioned if Dooku was fully committed to the Sith thing, because like, why does he not have Sith eyes? Like, there's certain things with Dooku where
We
it's
talked
like,
about that
what-
yesterday.
what-
That Dooku never has the yellow.
why does he give
Yeah.
Obi-Wan the entire fucking game in Episode 2? Like, tells him everything. There's a Sith Lord that's got a lot of fucking power in the Senate. The entire Senate is fucking compromised.
Yeah.
Like, we could overthrow. Like, I think there is an element of good in Dooku that would want to overthrow Palpatine and like right it like a bit, And
It's just like Vader in the original trilogy too. Join me and we'll overthrow the Emperor and rule
Yeah.
as father and son. Like that's Vader's thing, is to overthrow Palpatine, and he's been doing it since Episode 3.
yeah,
He tries with Padme. He tries with Luke. He's always trying to overthrow him.
yeah,
But he's better than complete anarchy if Anakin just kills him.
Yeah.
I mean, if Vader just kills him.
yeah.
So
No, and I think that I don't. There's an element of that argument with that moment, right? The birth of Vader is what it comes down to. Is there is an element of Anakin where it's like, this is fucking wrong. It's not just about Padme and the fact that he likes.
it's part of
Palpatine.
it.
That is part of it.
It's absolutely
That's part of it. But there's
it very well could be 50-50 between the two.
But there's also a part of it where it's like, we can't fucking kill the leader of who I've just spent 2 years fighting
look
a
at the
war
lines.
for.
Look at the lines that Anakin speaks right there.
Yeah,
He's too dangerous to be kept alive. This isn't the Jedi way.
Yeah.
That's the first thing he says.
yeah. And I think that he actually
And-
holds to those things. Enough
and
to where it's
then-
like, this isn't the Jedi way to kill him.
And then, no, I need him.
Yeah, that's the second.
That's the second thing. It's
Yeah.
interesting. That's an interesting insight I've never thought
And
about.
I get that you can definitely make the argument that Anakin's kind of a hypocrite, where it's like, it's not the Jedi way to kill, but you killed sand people and stuff. I do think that, but I think he understands his failings. You know what I mean? Like, he understands what the Jedi should be. He understands that he's fallen short of that. And I think that eats at him. I don't think that he's just like happy about, oh yeah, you should about the time I slaughtered a bunch of fucking sand people. Like,
No, that tears him up inside.
Yeah, it does.
I mean, look at how he's acting at the beginning of Episode 3 when he goes and talks to Yoda.
Yeah,
He is torn.
yeah,
He's hanging on by a thread at that point. And so Palpatine at that moment recognizes, okay, this is the time. This
Yeah.
is when I can do it.
and I do think that what it comes down to is Anakin buys the press. Everything the Jedi claim to be is what he truly fucking believes. And so suddenly when you get into this realm of like fucking court of Caesar, and suddenly the Jedi are like, we're gonna just fucking take him out, and we'll take over.
Hold on. I gotta say one thing there.
We'll basically take over while the Senate figures whatever. Like, there's just an element of like almost like that backstabbing, like the Game of Thrones type stuff. That is not the Anakin doesn't have like he's very black and white. And he doesn't have that like level of like
Gray.
like Obi-Wan, where he's like, yeah, this sucks, but it's what we got to do, and it's what the council's telling me, so we got to do it. Like, I just don't think Anakin has that. He sees what the fucking says in the books, and that is what I fucking believe. Like, this isn't right. Like, we can't take over. We can't kill this guy. This isn't the Jedi way.
I got two things I gotta say with what you just said there. One thing is that you're 100% right that Anakin, being raised with so much right and wrong as a slave, does not have the Jedi values throughout his whole life. like a lot of younglings would. Obi-Wan, for example, was raised in the Jedi way from a very young age.
Yeah.
He's too old to, he's 10 for God's sake, and they're saying he's too old.
He already established the knowing of right and wrong before he ever met a Jedi.
And
so
as someone who experienced the most heinous side of wrong
yes.
as a fucking slave, recognizes that even a slight wrong is still way too far wrong.
Yeah.
And that's what you're saying. He's black and white. There is no gray for him.
Yeah.
That's one thing I wanted to say. The second thing...
He's a 1950s Western, not like a 2000s Western where there's actually like gray hats.
Yes.
He's a white hat, black hat.
White hat, black hat.
That's just how
absolutely.
that's how he fits. And I'm not saying that's right because there is no such thing as white and black
No,
in real life.
that's what he is.
But he's an idealistic
And there's people
person.
like that in the world that just believe there is right and wrong.
Yeah.
I was one of those
you used to
people.
be
I was
that
going to say, I'm glad you said it. I was one of those people. I was very much Jedi Sith. There is no in between.
Yeah.
Of course there is. I'm a lot older and a lot wiser now than I was then.
Yeah.
Of course there is. Excuse me. The second thing I was going to say, I'm going to take offense to what you said about the Jedi Council decided this. The Jedi Council decided to kill Palpatine. One fucking person decided to kill Palpatine, all right?
No, they did have that one conversation. I guess I'm probably putting too much into it where they're talking about what do we do here?
Yeah.
Over the Kashyyyk.
If
board.
They're talking about,
and Yoda says that this is a dangerous road.
Yes,
this conversation is taking.
Yes, and I will say that no one talks about just killing Palpatine outright.
No.
The only person who decides that is Mace Windu.
Yeah,
that is not the Jedi. He doesn't speak for all Jedi. That's something that has started rubbing me wrong over the last about year and a half. Is that everyone's like, oh, the Jedi were out to kill Palpatine. I'm like, how many fucking Jedi were in the room when Palpatine was killed? 2.
Yeah. 2
were there. 2 made that decision.
Yeah.
It's Anakin and Mace Windu. Those are the only 2.
A couple of dead bodies on the ground.
No, there's only 2. They're gone. They didn't even become Force ghosts. Like, they're gone. You know?
Oh,
Which,
man.
come on. Kip Fisto deserved better.
He lasted the longest.
He did, but the longest. He lasted 6 seconds instead of 2. Jesus Christ. I mean, but let's be fair. I mean, if some old guy all of a sudden 720'd out of his chair directly at me with a lightsaber, I'd shit my pants and die too.
Yeah. That's I love that. I love that scene too. It's just great.
It's treason then.
But there's a lot of people that bitch. I mean, Dave Filoni is famous for being a very big Plo Koon fan.
Yeah.
And one of the earliest things he said to George after he got hired was like, "Man, you sure fucked Plo Koon over, didn't you?"
One of the greatest pilot in the galaxy is what everything says about him. And then he's just like, huh? And gets blown up. I will say, you sent me a clip. I don't know when this was. Maybe 4 months ago.
The alternate
of Plo. Dude, that's so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so much worse. The alternate death of Plo Koon is so much worse.
Yeah.
Oh, God. But yeah.
What was it? Tell it for the...
I'm trying to remember it, honestly.
I had a few in me when I said
it's bad. I don't remember it. I'll maybe I can find it, but it's ways back in my...
Yeah.
It was an Instagram reel that you sent me.
Yeah.
Maybe I can find it real fast.
I do. So
yeah,
Order 66.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, what a section of the movie. I mean, we're already kind of talking about it, right? But like, is there what's the worst one for you?
I mean, I love Plo Koon now.
Yeah.
So that one hurts. I always hated Keanu Mundi.
There's something about him because it's the look in his eye.
He seems so arrogant,
but he sees it, right? Like he senses something, then turns like, and you just get that look in his eye of like that moment of like,
yeah,
I don't know. So that one always like bummed me out a little bit.
Okay, I found it. Plo Koon gets shot. Oh yeah, that's right. He ejects and then they blast him out of the sky after he ejects. That's what it was. That was the alternate for Plo Koon. Is he's like, oh shit, my ship's damaged. Eject, and then they just freaking gun him down as like a parachute, kind of situation.
Which is a no-go in our.
That is a war crime, actually.
Well, even outside of that,
that's like the gentleman code.
Yeah,
kind
pilots are like, I might be that guy next time, so no, we're not shooting it.
No, yeah, you treat our pilots good, we'll treat your pilots good. That's just like gentleman code kind of thing. Yeah. Order 66, dude. I'll say this: after watching Rebels and Clone Wars, Order 66 hits a lot harder.
Oh yeah, I actually knew I knew someone that was introducing their kids this years ago. They're probably all like teens and tweens right now. But he introduced them through Clone Wars first. Like I think he may let him watch 1 and 2, but then it was all Clone Wars because it's like he wanted to let him get a little bit older, because episode 3 is a little bit more intense.
Yep.
But then so they watched all of Clone Wars, and then they had I think he had 5 kids. And when they finally got to that point to sit down and watch episode 3, dude, these kids were fucking bawling.
They were destroyed.
And I don't think I had even got into Clone Wars at that point. And I was just like, I mean, I saw the movie when it came out.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I just haven't seen enough Clone Wars. He's like, dude, if you haven't seen it, he's like, you just don't understand it. You know every Jedi that you see on screen intimately.
For Order 66.
So he's like, every one of these you see, you've had multiple episodes you've spent with these characters. You know them. You can hear their voice. You know exploits they've had. And he's like
near misses that they've had,
yeah,
only to come to the end this way.
Yeah, because Plo Koon is probably, I mean, obviously because Dave likes him, so he got used pretty heavily in Clone Wars. But he's
Plo Koon also is pretty well regarded because of the line that he says to the clone troopers. Yeah. I think it's one of the first episodes of Clone Wars. Is like, "Oh, sir, we're meant to be expendable. We're just clones, not to me."
Yeah, yeah.
That's Plo Koon in my mind.
Dave made Plo a really big for Ahsoka.
Yeah.
He's stood up for Ahsoka.
He's Ahsoka's stepdad, basically.
Yeah, helped Ahsoka quite a bit and stuff. So,
or cool uncle, I guess, would be a better way of saying Plo's.
Yeah,
not stepdad, but yeah, cool uncle. I have one thing I have to talk about.
Yeah,
this is going to be a debate.
Yeah,
and I'm done with the slander.
Also, I want to mention before a debate.
Yeah,
George Lucas's cameo is in this one. This is where we
see
opera,
right?
This is where we see George. Yep.
Yeah, the opera.
The opera.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's the Moncal opera, too.
Yeah. It's a trap. It's an opera.
I love me some Akbar.
Okay.
What slander are we talking here?
No, it's the slander I will not stand anymore.
Alleged slander, but go on.
No, this is full-on slander. Everyone does this. You're one of the most guilty ones I know of. I will not accept any more slander on Yoda and Obi-Wan cutting down the clones outside of the Jedi Temple. I will not accept slander of it anymore because those clones murdered children. You mean to tell me that when we liberated concentration camps, we didn't take SS guards out and execute them?
Not enough of them we didn't.
Not enough of them we didn't. No, we kept the higher ups, the guards and everything. Man, they let some of the prisoners have the guards in some of those camps.
Yeah.
The Russians were really bad with some of them. I mean,
if that was Tad's army,
every single one of them would have died.
There would have been no Nuremberg trials.
No. They would have all been dead. And so that's where I'm just like, everyone always compares Ahsoka's and Obi-Wan and Yoda's handling of the clones, and I'm done with the slander. Ahsoka is with her troops on a Star Destroyer. I know it's not called that, but the what is it, Star Cruiser or whatever they call them?
Yeah, the
capital ship. She's with them. She's not even a Jedi at that point. She has left the Jedi Order, and everyone's like, "Look, that's how you handle the clones: is you rescue them." And it's like, those motherfuckers marched on the temple and murdered thousands, tens of thousands of Jedi, including men, women, and children in there. No. I'm not having it anymore. I'm done with it. You're not allowed to do it anymore. Those clones deserved to die. Every single one of them. I know they're programmed that way. They can't control it and everything like that. If you defend Iron Man going after Bucky and wanting to kill him, then you have no right to go after Yoda and Obi-Wan. And that's final. That is decided. There is no argument there.
They were just following orders.
No, they were not. No, oh my God.
A good soldier follows orders.
Oh, I'm so heated right now. I'm so sick of that like, oh, they just killed clones like they meant nothing. It's like, you realize what those clones did, right? Like, they're the ones guarding the temple. They're the 501st. They're the ones that marched with Anakin.
One of my least favorite parts of this movie is when Yoda just narcs the fucking Imperial Royal Guards.
Oh, yeah.
Those are some of my
They were supposed to be, like, the biggest badasses in the galaxy.
Yeah.
And Yoda's just like, flick.
I ever since I was like 5 when I saw these movies for the first time, I love Imperial Royal Guards.
You're talking like back in like Return of the Jedi.
Yes.
First time.
Yes. Like ever since I was 5 years old back in the fucking 90 whatever, 91, 90 whatever it was. I love Imperial Royal Guards. They're one of my absolute favorite Imperials. And yeah, there's just an element of they're guarding the most important person on the fucking galaxy.
And Yoda walks in
and they're using sticks. They don't have big guns or fucking turrets. Like, there's just an aspect of badassness where it's like, how badass is a dude if like a little fucking, even if it's like a little zapper, like you're guarding the most important person in the galaxy.
You have to realize, let's also put it in context that we're talking about potential Wookiees.
Yeah.
Whatever the fuck Brutus is in Skeleton Crew.
Yeah.
Species walking around. Things that can rip your arms off that are 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
You know, and everything.
Beasts.
Beasties, exactly.
Like Wookiees.
No. Brutus is a beast. Chewie is not. Don't ever slander my boy again.
I remember you getting pretty excited with the Wookiees.
Dude, I fucking love Wookiees. And then like the whole battle,
also
like, coming out of the ditch, over
the
the top.
I love that because it was originally it was going to be Wookiees in Return of the Jedi.
On Endor, yeah.
On Endor was supposed to be Wookiees, and that changed up to Ewoks.
Cheaper.
Lucas wanted more of an underdog story, and he just didn't think he'd get it with Wookiees.
I thought there was a cheaper aspect as well.
That's probably a secondary or thirdary type
Yeah.
thing, because it was more of like he wanted the idea of like the underdogs that overcome this like absolute like American Revolution type stuff, right?
Okay.
Bunch of farmers beating the most powerful military on the planet. And so bringing the Wookiees back for this one, also Revenge of the Jedi was the original title for episode 6, and it was changed to
Revenge of the Sith,
and then Revenge of the Sith. So it's like the perfect fucking callback. Like, there's those two I had to bring up as like
absolutely.
Yeah, I love that. Also, I don't know where we're at on time. We're getting close.
No, we got about 15 minutes. We're good.
The score.
Oh, it's amazing. I knew we had to talk about it at some point. The war drums at the beginning, that's not part of the score.
It might be one of my favorite overall scores, top to bottom. It's always hard to like grade them because it's like, okay, like episode 4 could get overlooked. I mean, there's some good stuff in there. You got like the Leia theme, you got the Force theme, you've got like the Binary Sunset, one of the greatest pieces of music in Star Wars history. But it's like, does episode 4 get the credit for the opening title? Even though that's in all of them. I know it's there first, but it's like it gets in a weird spot where it's like...
if you're going to go off of greatest score, I feel like you remove that one. I feel like you remove the main title because that's in every movie. But Leia's theme is in multiple movies.
Yeah, so most of them have returning elements, so that's why I'm just like, it gets weird. I mean, I can make an argument for Empire being one of the best because you got the Imperial March.
Oh, the Imperial March.
Yoda's theme. And the Imperial March is the most iconic Star Wars piece ever, music-wise.
I feel like it is, even over the main theme.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So it always gets weird, but
it's always mistaken. Hey, that's Vader's theme.
Yeah, in terms of it was Vader's theme on the original
right.
album. It was called Vader's theme.
Oh.
And then it was only later that it got in parentheses Imperial March.
Oh, that's a good little piece of trivia. I like that.
Yeah, but I think top to bottom, I mean, in this one you've got Battle of the Heroes, which I will say I'll put it up against the Duel of the Fates any day.
Really?
It's incredible.
Duel of the Fates is so good, though.
It is, but you also get a good call into Duel of the Fates in this one.
That's true.
Right, with the Yoda duel, the Yoda part of the duel. But then you've got the Battle of the Heroes. You've got the Order 66.
Oh.
One of my favorites because, like, go listen to that and tell me that there is not shadows of Schindler's List.
Oh, there is.
There is. In that. It's just, and I'm
That's because they committed fucking genocide on the Jedi.
I'm blanking now, but I just know I've listened to all the albums top to bottom all the time. But I just feel like there's times I just feel like the episode 3 one is incredible, top to bottom. I mean,
sure.
Grievous has got a great theme in there.
Yeah.
The finale, like when you're going into like the delivering the twins, and then like the whole finale, everything. It's
the little Harry Potter reference. In that.
Yeah, indeed.
That's always fun.
And then it just, to me, I think like no matter what you want to say about any of the movies, John Williams always comes in clutch, and I just think that through the sequels, he did an incredible job across the board. Across the Stars in episode 2 is a great. Duel of the Fates in episode 1 is incredible. There's good themes across the board, but I just think episode 3 is just, I love Battle of Heroes.
It's amazing. Honestly, perfect segue. We haven't talked about it. That end fight between Anakin and Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
The fact, I mean, it's common knowledge now, but for Star Wars fans. But for anyone who's tuning in that isn't a huge Star Wars fan, to find out that Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen did that fight alone.
No stunts.
No stunt doubles. and at full speed.
Yeah.
They didn't speed them up.
Yeah.
So when you watch that lightsaber duel,
That's 3 months worth of practice of choreography
and I still love. I know it's not this movie, but I still love that they had to get Ewan McGregor to stop making fucking lightsaber noises.
Yeah, that was episode 1.
That was one of the greatest things ever. But Obi-Wan
I
and
just blanked on his name. Qui-Gon, same thing.
oh yeah,
He did the
Liam
same
Neeson.
thing.
Yeah, Liam Neeson and Ewan McGregor.
And then
They
Lucas,
talked about
Lucas
the-
said, cut. Hey, you guys know we do that in post. You don't have to make sound effects.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's so funny. But the fight between Obi-Wan and Vader
Yeah.
is it's easily top 5 duel.
Yeah.
Easily for me.
At some point, we're going to talk.
I think we have done.
Have we done?
I think we've done lightsaber duels, haven't we?
Maybe we have. You're probably right.
I think we have. We have our show topics. We
yeah, it
record.
is right there, episode 30.
Yeah, episode 30. I cannot remember what my number one, what your number one was. But I'm pretty sure, if I remember right, I think your number one was Empire.
Yeah. So
That fits, right?
So here's what I want to say about duels.
Yeah.
You've got episode 4 is just kind of, it is what it is. It's kind of the intro to duels.
Sure.
There's not a whole lot to it. It's just kind of an idea of like, oh my god, this is what it looks like with lightsabers fighting. Episode 5 and 6 are both heavily emotional. They're emotional duels. I mean, Luke, it starts with episode 5. Luke is more angry. You're like, I want to kill the person that killed my dad. But then episode 6, it's obviously like trying to redeem his dad. They're both very emotional. There's good choreography to them,
right?
But they're emotional. Episode 1, 100% choreography. There's no emotion in that duel. It is all about, this is the height of the fucking Jedi. This is what it looks like. Episode 2, it's still kind of, there's not a lot of emotion there. It's very choreography. You know, it's Yoda fighting for the first time. It's Anakin using 2 blades against Dooku.
Mm-hmm.
Episode 3 is that middle ground where I think it's the perfect merging of emotion and choreography. Like, you know what I'm kind of setting it up where it's like one side you've got a lot of choreography, the other side you got a lot of emotion. Episode 3 is that perfect balance of the two, and you get that element of this is one of the most emotional duels, but it's also one of the most highly choreographed duels. It's like these two know each other. They fought side by side for a war for 2 years. Like they know every move that each other's going to make. So that's just one of my things I've come up with over the years of like how to like see the duels for the Lucasian Star Wars movies.
The duel between the two in episode 3 was our number 2 duel for both of us.
Okay, yeah.
I pulled up the episode, and then your number 1 was Empire. My number 1 was Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
That fits.
Yeah,
that fits.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's always great when the villain wins.
According to you, he's not a villain. He's just an agent of the rightful.
I'm just talking the nonsense that most people do, where they slander. But you know this duel, and then the cross cut it with Obi-Wan or Yoda
and Palpatine
is
where he literally throws the Senate at him.
Beware of the Emperor. Throw the Senate at you, he will.
Yeah. He's like, all right, he's going to do a bunch of politician stuff. Oh, my God, he's actually throwing the Senate.
Also, one of my favorite memes was, like, after Return of the Jedi, like, it's like a comic where it's like Luke talking to the Force Ghost. He's like, why didn't you tell me about Force Lightning?
Yeah.
Especially when you watch the prequels and they just, like, hold their lightsaber up and it just, like...
Yeah, if he had kept his lightsaber in Return of the Jedi, he would have been fine.
Wouldn't have had lightning teeth.
Ugh. I hate it.
Mace Windu got some lightning teeth,
He
too.
sure did. And the whole how do you feel about the whole Mace Windu's not dead thing?
I hate it.
Yeah,
he's got to be dead. I mean, I get where Sam's coming from. There's some Star Wars characters who've been through a hell of a lot worse and survived, so I get it. But I just feel like there's an element of like purpose of his death, right? Like it's very symbolic.
It's very Yondu for Guardians of the Galaxy. What James Gunn said about that. There's no reason I would kill this character in a sacrificial way like that just to undo it by bringing him back.
Yeah. It'd be like bringing Palpatine.
That's not exactly what he said, but a paraphrase.
It'd be like bringing Palpatine back. Like it
would be so dumb.
Completely undoes the sacrifice of Vader or Anakin, you know.
At that point.
And I will say, and I know that some people don't like to know, I've always been fine with it. It is what it is. But also the people that get really mad are the ones when they put it in Return of the Jedi. That was actually my least favorite change for the longest time, but I've come around to it because essentially that screaming no is the birth of Vader and the death of Vader, or the death of Anakin and the rebirth of it. Like either way, it's symbolic. Like Anakin, It's the turning point.
It's the bookends of Vader.
Yeah. It's the birth of Vader, truly the birth of Vader, because even when he's in the suit there, he is a Sith Lord. He's called Darth Vader. He's not fully committed. What's the first thing he says? Where's Padme? Is she safe? Is she all right?
Yep.
Like, his immediate thing is there. Once he finds out she's dead, crushes everything. Why is Palpatine smiling? Because he now has a fully committed
servant.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
servant.
an apprentice. Servant.
Yeah. So, and
lapdog.
And then until the next no, or
what does Leia call him? In episode 4,
holding Vader's leash.
Holding Vader's leash. Yeah.
Should have expected you holding Vader's leash.
Oh.
But I recognize your foul stench when I was brought on board.
Charming.
I saw some recently where they were saying that she had the hardest time with those lines. Carrie
really?
did, because Peter Cushing was just such a
nice,
such
person.
a gem of a person.
Yeah.
So for her to like. I get it, it's acting.
Yeah.
But it's like she's like a 19-something-year-old actor, and she just had the hardest time because he was the sweetest.
Well, he's also like one of the most well-known actors at that time, right?
Yeah, he was pretty well known.
He was very well, maybe not most known, but he was very well known. So it's like that's kind of like me and you walking up to I don't know, a
Gary Oldman.
No, too well known. Maybe a little bit lesser known actor, and just being
Henry
like,
Thomas.
Henry Thomas, exactly. Imagine walking up to Henry Thomas and being like, "You're a piece of shit."
Do you just back to episode 3? Do you remember anything about the novelization?
I never read it.
You didn't read it?
Never read
okay.
it. I've never read a novelization of a Star Wars movie.
Okay.
I've read Expanded Universe, and I've read the new stuff that is canon. A few books of that. I like the Ahsoka book I read. I read one of the Thrawn books, maybe more than one of the Thrawn books. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I've never, ever read a novelization of any of the books.
So,
the movies.
I'm going to stab you in the heart. So there's a point during the Order 66 stuff that 3PO asks R2, like, what's going on? Like, do you know what's happening right now? Like, what's going on with Anakin? And R2 basically answers, I don't know. He doesn't talk to me anymore.
Oh, it's heartbreaking. Oh, poor R2.
Yeah, like that's just, I know it's not full-on canon, but it's like...
Oh,
I thought you were pushing a button.
No. I was going to, because I was really worried about what you were about to tell me. I had the no button ready.
Yeah, that was the line in the novel is I don't know. He doesn't talk to me anymore. So
damn.
Also, the whole fan theory that Anakin leaves him on Mustafar and says, "Wait here with the ship," and he never sees him again.
Yeah.
What happens every time Luke tells him stay with the ship?
He fucks.
He doesn't listen and he follows. So because what's the last time he was told that
he lost his master?
So yeah.
I mean, does R2 know that Vader is Anakin?
I think so.
How?
I mean, he's with him through a lot of that.
But Vader.
Oh, in terms of like in the suit?
Yeah. Because see, like, I know that you make the distinction that when Anakin assists in the kill, he doesn't get the kill.
Yeah.
He gets the assist.
Yeah. I know what we need to do is get a scene from Palpatine. Double kill, triple kill. And then flash forward to Mace Windu, kill-tacular.
Kill-tacular. No, it's too far in between. You know the rules.
He's a Sith Lord. He gets.
I mean, if you want to get technical, that would be like a killing spree for him because he hasn't suffered a death.
Does Vader? Does he ever see Vader?
I mean, Vader is
unless he can.
Vader shoots him in Episode 4.
Unless he can zoom into the cockpit,
which I'm assuming he can.
The question would be, does he recognize the flying?
I mean, he sees him in Episode 4 on the Death Star. They're running to the Falcon, and Vader's fighting Obi-Wan.
Yeah. So he may have seen him there, but also,
let's be perfectly honest. He probably saw him in fucking Hollow News and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's not like Vader's not a public figure.
Well, he's kind of a phantom. Like, I don't think he's like full on in like a lot of news.
He's not standing behind Palpatine when he's giving a speech in the Senate. What?
But I think the question would be, would he recognize Anakin's flying in A New Hope?
Oh yeah.
Is that the thing where it's where he sees some movements?
And he's like, oh.
The little pointer comes out. Oh, R2.
And then and then Vader shoots him. What a piece of shit.
But see, again, I don't think he sees R2, right? Because there is a comic that they just did recently in the last couple of years where it's during Empire, and he actually finds 3PO's body and like holds the head and recognizes that it's C-3PO. Vader does.
Yeah.
But I just don't know if there's ever a time that he sees R2.
Yeah.
You know, maybe R2 could like recognize the flying or zoom in on whatever, but Vader never because
No.
what would happen if he did? That would be the question.
Would he still blow up the ship?
Yeah,
The X-Wing?
It's a good
It's
question.
like, that's R2. Blast. I mean, it's Vader, for God's sakes. He cut down children. So.
Yeah, the clones in this, incredible. Good job.
Oh, yeah.
You know, love it. This movie, though, is incredible. It is one of my favorite of the Star Wars movies.
It's up there.
Yeah, for me, I usually rank it...
Isn't it 5, 4, 3?
For me, no. Last time I did it with someone, I said 5, 3, 8, 4 is where I'm at. So... usually 3 is in my 2 spot. That's pretty regular for me. It's just, this movie's incredible. And there is some personal stuff that goes along with it. The fact, right after high school,
Yeah,
it
you
comes
got the
out
memories
for us.
of us seeing it 3 times in 24
Yeah,
hours.
and it's just, I love it. It's an incredible movie
Yeah.
for me. So, yeah. Good.
Any final thoughts? We're about to wrap up here. Anything else with Revenge of the Sith you want to say?
No, I love the finale with Owen and Beru.
Oh, yeah.
Handing Luke off. I love the entire thing with like Leia. One of my favorite things that we didn't end up getting anything for until much, much, much later is the idea of training from Qui-Gon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because that's the other thing I would say about the Jedi thing. We'll probably get into more Jedi debate down the road.
Yeah.
But I do think that Qui-Gon is kind of the Jesus-ish figure that's like, I don't care about the fucking corrupt way of the Jedi. Not that he full on sees it as corrupt, but he's kind of just, he's a maverick. He does his own thing. Obi-Wan calls him out on it in one. He's like, why do you keep going against the council? You'd be on it if you just listened.
And
He's like, I'm going to do what I must.
And he's like, yeah,
And it's like,
I'm good.
So it's like, I just feel like and again, the reason it's the duel of the fates is because if Qui-Gon survives, Anakin wouldn't have fallen to the dark side.
Right.
But the one thing I would say
Would
is...
Anakin have ever risen into the rank of master and been on the council? Probably not. He probably would have been another Qui-Gon, but he wouldn't have fallen and become Vader.
He would have been protected. Because I was telling somebody that recently. I was debating with someone a bit. And I'm like, basically, Palpatine grooms Anakin from a young age to like...
Post episode 1 until episode 3.
And manipulates him to get him where he needs to be.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that works is because Obi-Wan is that stern father figure. He doesn't have any empathy for Anakin in the way that Qui-Gon would have. Qui-Gon would have been like, oh my God, you're having shit about your mom. Let's go fucking talk to her.
Yeah,
like
let's go make sure she's okay.
Yeah, he would have broken rules. He would have had
Yeah.
the empathy and the fatherly thing for Anakin that Anakin would have needed.
Not only fatherly, but even like a more so than like Obi-Wan was an older brother that was like strict.
Yeah.
But more like an older brother who's closer in age. Like you and your brother are pretty close in age.
Yeah.
You're only a few years apart. There's a bond there versus kids who are 10 years apart because it almost becomes like a parent relationship.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what Obi-Wan, especially since Obi-Wan
Yeah.
was the master,
For sure.
he had to have like that strict headmaster
And
kind of relationship
and he-
instead of an older brother who's just looking out for his kid.
Yeah, and he's also
Kid brother.
He's also very by the book kind of Jedi too.
Yes.
It's his identity, which is totally fine. He's a good Jedi, but he was a very poor master for Anakin. Not that he's a bad master. It's just that what Anakin would have needed, Obi-Wan wasn't it.
Honestly, the kind of Padawan that you're looking for under Obi-Wan is someone who wants to be a Jedi by the letter of the law.
Yes, that would be perfect for.
That's not Anakin
That's
Skywalker.
not him. But-
no way.
But that was a long tangent to say what I think is interesting is the Force chooses Qui-Gon to be the one to find the door to immortality.
Right.
The one that figures out becoming one with the Force in a large, like, because everyone becomes one with the Force, but like, what is that difference?
In a way to come back and teach the Jedi how to do it right.
Yes. Why is it that Qui-Gon figured that
Why
out?
him?
Why was it him exactly? And then because again, I think he is the true.
Why not Plo Koon or
or Mace Windu. I mean,
Or any of them.
but I think I think there's a true element of Jedi that always would have existed. It just wouldn't have been the power structure.
Yeah.
And I think Obi-Wan is in that line, or Qui-Gon's in that line of like, he is what Jedi should be. Like he's always talking about, don't focus on your anxiety. He's like, just roll with the Force, let the Force guide you. Like he's all about the natural Force.
and Obi-Wan is not about that.
No, Obi-Wan falls into line where it's like, he ends up on the council because he's like, he kind of toes the company line.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so I do love the fact in this movie we end up finding out that Qui-Gon, and it always like titillated me where I'm like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, like there's a lot of like we probably could figure out, but it's like, I want to know more. And we only recently with the Obi-Wan series saw
Obi-Wan series.
Qui-Gon. We I think there was something else that they did, but either way, yeah, good stuff. Love this movie.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Glad we talked about it. And yeah, 20.
And we'll probably talk about it again
20
next year when we go and see it in theaters.
20-year anniversary. Yeah, I can't wait for that.
We're going if there is a
Oh,
showing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we have to.
Yeah, I did the marathon where I saw episode 1 again, so it hit me up to 20. So now my count for
Round 20
theatrical.
for episode 1.
But I didn't. I probably wouldn't have otherwise if it wasn't the marathon. Just 'cause I've seen it enough times.
In theaters.
In theaters, yeah, in theaters. But episode 3, I just have not had enough. I think I'm around 10, probably back in 2005.
I can't wait to hear the that opening battle scene on theaters.
Especially
in the modern era too.
Yeah, exactly.
With the new technology and everything, it's going to sound amazing.
Yeah, what do you got for final thought?
I love this movie. I am so sick and tired of the slander towards Obi-Wan and Yoda, and I will not abide it anymore. It's not allowed.
Did I send something to you recently?
Yeah, that's
what sparked it.
That's what sparked it, dude. I literally went and wrote that down for the thing for this, the outline for this episode. I wrote down Obi-Wan and Yoda right to kill clone troopers. I'll stand by it. If you believe that they're wrong, and you believe that Iron Man's okay going after Bucky, you're a hypocrite.
Also, I gotta point out in the Obi-Wan series, the fact that Obi-Wan sees a 501st clone and gives him money.
Exactly.
There's just something
exactly
to that.
Because it's not one of the fucking child killers.
Well, I'm saying it's not just a clone, but the markings.
Oh,
it's
a 501st.
It is a
Yeah,
501st. So
he should have just killed it.
It just shows you Obi-Wan's
yeah,
and he would have known the 501st people.
He fought with them all the time.
Yeah, he had his own, but it's he still would have fought right next to all those dudes.
I mean, it's Anakin's army, so yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for picking it, though.
You're welcome.
It's a good conversation.
That's why we had to talk about it. We haven't talked enough Star Wars. I feel like we needed to talk more Star Wars.
I think that every once in a while, but then I go back there and look at the list. We've actually covered Star Wars. Not to say we don't need to cover it more, because it is one of the biggest things for us.
No Star Wars in 2025. Banning it.
But I was thinking a couple episodes back where I was like, maybe we need another Star Wars. I don't know if we've done enough. And then I went through and looked at the list. I'm like, actually, we've done a lot of Star Wars.
I mean, we did have Ahsoka in the summer.
Yeah, well, that was 2023.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
August, September, and October of 23.
Good Lord.
Who's that? So let's go ahead and jump on over to the emails. If you want to email the show, let us know your thoughts. Maybe we said something that rubbed you the wrong way or whatever.
Like John emailed us. Thanks, John.
Yeah, send an email over to peter@geekeryabides.com or Tad, T-A-D-D, @geekeryabides.com, and let us know.
And I do read my email.
Yeah.
So I responded to John when he emailed me.
And said, I saw this.
And I literally said, thanks, John. I have read this and will include it on the episode, LOL. And he said, he sent back 2 laughing emojis and said, I contemplated emailing Tad to tell you to check your email, but I had faith in you. Faith rewarded.
Faith rewarded, indeed. Just like my faith in Palpatine. Always gets rewarded. So next time, the next episode in a fortnight from now, we're going to be doing a 2025 look ahead. I will tell you, dude, the next year, it looks fucking stacked. Movies, shows, games. There is so much fucking cool shit coming in 2025.
Suck it to my veins!
Yeah, we have kind of been, through COVID. Right when we got through COVID, we ended up getting a fucking writers and actors strike.
Yep.
And we've just been hobbled in entertainment for almost the whole decade.
We're coming out of the backside.
This is 2025 is out of it, man. There is so many fucking things to watch and play and whatever. So and read. So I just want to take a look ahead, outline the calendar, let's geek out on what is to come.
I'll tell you right now, there's a ton of stuff that I've forgotten about and or don't know about.
Yeah, exactly. So can't wait for that, and that will be the finale for the year, and then we'll move into season 3 on the 18th of January, and go on through season 3 all the way through episode 75.
Let's do it.
So, all right, we will. I will sign off as I always do by saying, I almost said Long Days of Blessing.
That's the other show.
Oh, I will sign off as I always do by saying, love what you love, let your geek flag fly high, and to hell with anyone that tells you anything about guilty pleasures.
Hello there. That's fucking Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I can't say it better than him.
I mean, yeah, and let's just, Obi-Wan. We could just gush about him for a whole episode.
That's why we didn't talk about him, because that's all we would have talked about.
He is. And Ewan McGregor, I mean, because that's the other thing I should have said, is Ewan McGregor's transformation from, mullet boy to, almost a clone of fucking
Jesus.
Alec Guinness. So good.
Jedi Jesus.
All right, we will see you guys next time.
Bye, everyone.